at the buzzer. The game is over, and it belongs to the San Diego State Aztecs.
College football picks their Final Four.
The number one team in the country is Michigan. Number two, we assume it will be the Washington Huskies. And it is indeed the third team that was taken off and put on the board. The Texas Longhorns. Who's number four? Alabama.
And some are not happy about it.
It's unfortunate for Florida State. There's no other way to put it. And my heart breaks for those young men that are in that locker room.
For me, if I'm on the committee, I'm voting for Florida State and not Alabama.
While the NFL is still figuring it out.
Purdy looks left now, middle, throws, caught. Broken tackle by Deebo Samuel, runs for a first down, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! San Francisco!
2nd and 1 from the pocket. He deals down the seam. It's caught at midfield. Out the left side. Puka Nacua to the crib. Touchdown LA!
And we're loving it all. Now, here are the guys.
Yeah, good morning and happy Monday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you. And what a show we have lined up. You heard it there in the lengthy intro. It was a busy weekend in the NFL. It also was an insane weekend in college football. So for anybody paying attention, which I'm sure many were, this thing rates like crazy when it comes around every year. But this time feels a little sullied by what happened with the selection committee, college football playoffs, discluding a conference champion and an undefeated Seminoles team. Florida State out, Texas, Alabama in the bottom two spots. Georgia falls from a 1 seed all the way to a 6. The first time ever a 1 seed fell out of the playoff bracket. I mean, it was pandemonium what happened over championship weekend in college football. But good morning. Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, doing good. Good. Yeah, it was a solid weekend of sports in general.
Fletch, how you doing? You're rocking the Monster this morning, the Bang Energy.
A little bang, bangerang. I feel great.
Yeah,
I feel really, really good.
You look good.
Do you feel really good?
Really good.
Yeah, you went up to Slow, right?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah,
that was great too. But I was more referring to what happened at 125 yesterday. We'll get into it later. But San Luis Obispo, beautiful. Every time we go, Kendall enters like a week-long depression because that's where she believes we should live.
So you guys enjoyed your old stomping grounds for a little bit, had a good time. I worked through the weekend. I have no idea what happened. Don't ask me. TD, everything good on your end?
Yeah, we went shopping down in LA. Got some home goods. Yeah, way down in the heart of Los Angeles. Actually, literally downtown, like near the art district, I guess.
So you were picking up furniture.
We were picking up furniture.
You either go there for drugs or furniture.
We did. We got both. I mean, it was like a 2-for-1. Yeah, it was nuts.
Honey, gosh, we need meth and a coffee table.
That was pretty much it.
So we're going to downtown LA. Well, fantastic. I don't even know where to start, so we'll dive in where Fletch suggested, because we left here talking about the Niners-Eagles game. Like, that was the game this weekend.
Right.
We figured, okay, wow, finally we have this rematch of the showdown in the NFC Championship game. We're going to finally see, hopefully, what would have happened in this game if Brock Purdy would have stayed healthy for 2 halves. And the Niners beat the ever-living dog out of those Eagles. I mean, that was not a particularly competitive game for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I sort of feel like the canary in the coal mine was telling you exactly what was going to happen the entire season. Like, it felt like we had all the indications that the Philadelphia Eagles could be had like this if they run into the right competition at the right time. And here we are.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. It did feel that way. I did think that there were a few questionable calls that may have swayed that game just a little bit. I think that, I mean, you look at the 49ers, they're the best team in the league to me. I don't know who's going to stop them. I don't think the Eagles are. However, due to some questionable calls, due to some questionable tosses in the game, I kind of feel like it could be a rallying cry, because this also feels like we will see this matchup again in the NFC Championship.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think refs can dictate a 30-point win, but there were some questionable calls, and they did kind of go towards the Niners, specifically one of Debo's long runs. There was a hold that just got missed and blatantly, and then what toss-outs are you referring to? Because the Niners had a player tossed out. The Eagles had a head of security tossed out.
Correct. Which he got a standing ovation, by the way, as he was walked into the locker room.
Big Dom.
Big Dom. And I question as to why exactly. That was because he
instigated it.
How did he instigate?
That's what Nick Sirianni was apologizing for after the game, that a member of his staff would cause something like that to happen. Now, Dre Greenlaw, there's no excuse for what he did either. Like, you got to be better than that. But I think that coaches around the league kind of have a high standard for the people they have on staff. And for one of them to get involved in anything, in a shouting match with a player, in a pointing match with a player, I just think that that's inexcusable for most head coaches.
I didn't feel anything that was egregious by it. I mean, would it be irritating? Yes. But I don't know. Again, here I am sitting on the sidelines. I am a pure bystander in this. Rich, you played in the league. I mean, you were down there on the field. You would know how that felt.
Well, Twitter was torn over it too. So TD, as a sports fan, there's a lot of people who agree with you. Like, who were like, this is just an overreaction, that nobody deserved to be ejected for that situation because tempers run hot. And I think everybody could have gone to their corners and settled down, especially since they're not going to see each other on the field. Right. Again, as a member of the staff. However, I will say in this case, the officiating crew, bravo. That was an overreaction, maybe, but it was an appropriate overreaction because in my view as a player, the only people I want to be worried about are other players. There should never, ever be any interaction between player and member of the coaching staff, player and member of any staff, cameraman, etc. Like, if somebody from off the field, that's the reason why I don't love floor seats in basketball. It's the reason why I don't love storming the court, storming the field in football or basketball. I think all that is nauseating because somebody's eventually going to get stabbed, because somebody's going to be crazed and they're going to run onto the field and they're going to have an out-of-body moment and they're going to do something horribly reprehensible with terrible consequences. And as a result, somebody will have life in prison or worse, and somebody's life could be threatened or worse. So, yeah, I'm not with all of that. So, Big Dom, see you, bud. I know you're a hero of the people in Philadelphia, but there's no room in the game for that. So I'm cool with the overreaction there from the officiating crew. What I'm not cool with is how the Eagles laid down. My God, they just got beat up.
Yeah, they did. They really did. There was a hit, though. Who's number 2 for the 49ers? Lenore? Well, they laid that hit on Swift towards the end of the game. To me, now all of a sudden, if you look at Kareem Jackson over on the Broncos and you were to match up those kinds of hits, number 2 on the 49ers would be
Lenore.
So he would be fined and suspended because of that hit, which, by the way, was a fantastic hit. And there was nothing wrong with that hit.
He may still actually get fined for it. So what the NFL can do, even if no penalty is called on the field, they can go back, and they do this often. Trust me, I got one of these fines, and they can find a play where you deserve it and they didn't catch it on the field. And especially if it's a bigger game with more attention being paid to it from New York, they will send you a letter. You'll get it on Wednesday. So we're 2 days away from Lenore.
They've been sending those out like crazy this year, and they'll attach the film to it, the play that it happened. And so, like, it happened with Josh Jacobs earlier this year on a running back run up the middle where he just lowered his head when he got into the pile, and they say, well, you can't leave with the crown of your helmet. That's fine. It was something like $25,000.
Fletch, it happened to Jamison Williams also for the Lions. He had a block. He was just stalk blocking a corner or a safety.
I think it was Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh, maybe it was Amon-Ra.
That was a $43,000 fine.
It was huge. And it's all because of that, like lowering the crown of your helmet, taking a shot at somebody, whether it be as a ball carrier or as a blocker. It doesn't matter. As a tackler, obviously, it doesn't matter. So, yeah, that is becoming more commonplace in the league. They're trying to make the game, quote unquote, safer. Speaking of
what is it? Is it just an envelope that's like taped to your locker or something?
It's a FedEx envelope.
It's a FedEx envelope.
And it's left on your chair. Oh. So in the NFL.
So on Wednesdays, are you all walking into the locker room like,
oh God,
tell me my chair's clean?
So yeah, honestly, if you had a game where you're like, yeesh, whoopsie doodle, got called for that illegal hands to the face, curious if I'm going to get fined for it. So then, you sort of see your chair from across from you, like, yes. Woo. And then you get closer and you realize, oh no, it's because they put it on top of my towel inside my locker. Damn it. That's 13 G's. No big deal. Moving on with the rest of my day. Lighter in the pockets. Yeah, that sucks. You know what also sucks?
I feel like $5,000 would do the trick.
Watching Chargers and Patriots sucks.
Terrible game.
Holy
Wow.
smokes.
Wow, was that awful?
Did the Patriots have one drive that was halfway decent? I mean, it was awful.
So I watched that whole game, and I don't know if the Patriots put together a single drive where I would say, yeah, they should be proud of that. That's something to build off of. Bailey Zappi gets a start, and he looks like a third-string quarterback in the NFL. That's because he is. Mac Jones, he's been benched because he looks like a backup quarterback in this league. That's because that's what he's turned into. A promising rookie year, working with Josh McDaniels as his offensive coordinator, followed by a second year in this league where he had defensive coordinator and a special teams coordinator, getting a tryout during training camp to see who he's going to be his offensive coordinator. Matt Patricia helped to ruin this guy. Now Billy O'Brien gets called in off of the Alabama staff to try to save the situation as the offensive coordinator in New England. And there's no saving this. Mac Jones is no longer capable of being a starter. And I think he needs a fresh start. So I'm sure the Patriots are moving off of him, and that's the reason why he's been benched this season. But Bailey Zappi ain't the answer either. And Belichick needs to find one because they've got the worst record in the AFC, and they are playing like the worst team in football right now.
So that's the Patriots side, and everything you said is right. I especially like the line where you said Matt Patricia helped to ruin this guy. I think that's a hysterical way to put it. But when you look at the Chargers side of the football, like the Patriots, their story is written for this season. It's not going to be a winning season for the Patriots. Most likely right now they're playing for a high draft pick, and that's the only reason they're out on the field. And you can tell with the play calling, it's just so uninspired in New England right now. But when you look at the Chargers side, how the hell do you only get 6 points in that game?
Oh, they're a swing and a miss as well. I mean, the Chargers look terrible. They look just completely stagnant out there. And this offense should definitely be able to move the ball.
Is Austin Eckler broken? He looks so slow.
That injury this season has slowed him down. That ankle, he's still not the same running back.
No, not even close. I mean, he's running like 12 miles an hour, 13 miles an hour on some of these runs when he does get to the outside. And oftentimes he's not getting to the outside. He's getting hit behind the line or at the line of scrimmage and just going down after one, which that's not the Austin Eckler who's been in the league for the last handful of years. It's
really difficult this time of the season. It's week 13 about to finish up tonight with Monday Night Football. It's really difficult to have health. Yeah, I mean, 75% is good. Like if you're playing with a lot of bumps and bruises, but you feel like you're right around 75%, like that's a good thing because it's such a war of attrition. Austin Eckler looks like he's about 50%, somewhere in that range. Like he's not right. And Herbert hasn't been right for a good portion of this season. And they've had injury, obviously, at receiver with Mike Williams going down for the season. And Quentin Johnston, dude, he can't catch.
No, he had a couple of bad ones yesterday. And really, if Justin Herbert is throwing anyone other than Keenan Allen, it's like you're almost expecting it to be a drop. And he's hitting these receivers in the chest on the numbers, and the balls are just hitting the ground.
Johnston had that one sideline pass near side in terms of the camera view that was in and out of his hands. I mean, it's unacceptable. And he knows it. He's beating himself up after these plays. And I think it's psychological. I think it's a mental thing for him at this point because you saw it at TCU. This dude, when he was a Horned Frog and they were on that national championship run, he was talented as all get out. But it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I think he's overthinking it. When that ball's in the air and he knows he's wide open, it hit his mitts on the sideline. That is not a hard catch to make if you're as talented a receiver as Quentin Johnston, but it was a drop. And I got to give credit to the Patriots, even though they didn't muster a single score in the game.
One score would have done it.
They shut down Keenan Allen, held him to 58 and 0 touchdowns. That's incredible. He was targeted 9 times, only caught 5 of them. That's incredible because Keenan Allen, I mean, it's routine. He gets his 100 yards. He gets his touchdown reception. He's been a machine for this Chargers offense, but that's what the Patriots do. They lock down your best option. They make you play left-handed, and somehow left-handed Brandon Staley and the Chargers end up mustering the win.
Oh, do not give him credit. Like his name doesn't belong in the.
Well, why not?
Well, it's a win.
It's a win.
It's a win.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
Are the Patriots even trying? It didn't look like they had an offensive or defensive game plan going in. Like I know the people on the field are trying, but are the coaches maybe trying to set this up to lose?
I would say they did try. Absolutely. Look, okay. Yes, they did try to win that football game. And the proof is the fact that they held the Chargers to 6 points. I mean, it's hard to hold the team who has their starting quarterback and has a great quarterback to 6 points. Now, weather played a factor. We talked about Austin Eckler, obviously injured, what they were able to do against Keenan Allen, and frankly, what they were able to do against the run. So when it's raining, you want to get to the ground, and the Chargers tried. They rushed the ball 24 times. They only had 29 net yards on the ground. So the Patriots played their asses off. The Chargers escaped with a win, and even though it was a narrow victory, that's a good win. I know
that does not feel like a good win.
It's tough to win against Belichick in Foxborough. That's a good win.
I think the spread was 6 points in that game. And so it pushed, that's a total push game.
Yeah.
Well, Rich, I'll tell you why it was a good win is because the teams up above them in that division lost. On Sunday Night Football, the Chiefs lost to the Packers 27-19. And with the lack of pass interference calls and non-call of 2 hands right in the back of Travis Kelce on the Chiefs' final play of the game, I can only imagine the Taylor Swift song about NFL referees is going to be, as the kids say, a banger. Chiefs Brian Cook, by the way, his ankle injury. Did you guys see that? Yeah, it's oh my goodness. Your foot doesn't turn 180.
The TV broadcast didn't replay it.
Oh, they refused to.
You had to go to Doc Chow's Twitter account in order to see it again.
Oh, it was gross. It was gross. So I guess we'll wait and see what happens there. The Rams beat the Browns 36-19. The best part of that game was it was the first time I got to hear an NFL referee say butt cheek on live TV.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was
fantastic.
That was pretty good. And Cardinals take down the Steelers in a shocking turn of events, 24-10. Another exciting Lions game, by the way, as they sneak by the Saints 33-28, and a Monday Night Football game tonight. Bengals at Jags. Anyway, Bengals win this thing.
Yeah, probably not.
Right.
Jags red hot, and Trevor Lawrence dealing, and the Bengals playing with a guy named Jake Browning. So
I do wonder if weather's going to play a factor because the Tampa Bay game yesterday. Do you guys see the rain in that one? It was coming down,
pouring
like as a wave.
Really?
Like it didn't seem like there was separation between the raindrops. It was just like someone pouring a bucket of water.
It's in Jacksonville, yeah?
Yeah, it is tonight.
Okay, weather in Jacksonville today, typing it into the Googler. Now we're looking at overcast but clear skies.
Florida's weird.
Yeah, Florida is weird. Okay, do you guys want to get into a little morning monologue here on a Monday?
Yeah.
Do you mind if I lead off?
Please do.
No. Okay.
I'd like to back clean up.
Because I have a bone to pick with the college football playoff selection committee. We're going to get into this later in the show. In fact, coming up next. But holy smokes, what are we thinking? What are we thinking? So we have a 1 seed Georgia gets knocked all the way out of playoff seeding because Alabama beats them in the conference championship game. Okay, that makes sense, but only if that's because FSU, who's an undefeated conference champion, is in the playoffs, but they're not. Why? Well, that's because the SEC would not have been represented unless you somehow found a way to sneak in either Bama or Texas. They snuck in both. So they put Texas at 3. They put Alabama at 4. Florida State 5, Georgia 6, and then obviously it was going to be Michigan and Washington, both undefeated, both conference champions, and you could look at their resumes and you can make all the arguments why they should be there at 1 and 2. But the bottom 2 do not make all that much sense if we're talking about fairness and competition. Now, subjectively, would I rather see Bama in this? Yeah, I think they're a better team overall. But who deserves to be there is Florida State, and it is an absolute ridiculous farce of a playoff we have this year.
Oh, it's this is make believe. This is make believe, and look, you're trying to make sure that you can capture all the viewers you can on television. That's it. I mean, because Florida State may not be the product that it once was earlier in the season. So now they don't want them there because this could be a stink fest. So I get it, but you've made this a joke. This is absolutely egregious to me as well. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm watching this Eagles-Niners game. I was getting a little bored. All right. So I was flipping around. I flipped over to I don't even know where I was, to be quite honest, deep into the 200s in the channel range, and I run across the CICB Pro Pickleball Association Finals, and I was locked in. I mean, it had it all: mystery, intrigue, shorty shorts, pink flamingos, Hawaiian shirts, full Hawaiian suits.
Did not see this.
Yeah,
I did
full
not
Hawaiian
see this.
suits. There were beers. There was champagne. It wasn't tennis. It wasn't ping pong. It was freaking pickleball. I am all in. What the hell is going on? Get some more courts out here, stat, and make pickleball the United States of America's national sport now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that was impassioned, and I think I agree. I'm not sure if I need to watch it. I need to review the film.
You should definitely review the film and just go ahead and soak up, drink up the crowd as they scan across, because, I mean, it's us out there. It's us.
You turned off the National Football League for pickleball.
That's 1,000,000% yes.
Okay.
That's what he did.
Yeah, that's what happened.
All right.
Yep.
Well, gents, I'd like to start this. This is an apology letter that I've written, and I'll read it verbatim, what I wrote. So my apology, here it goes. Dearest sports fans, I'd like to start this off by saying I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart. This hasn't gone as we planned, and I understand that the hype leading into these situations just really hasn't held up, and that's on us. If we could, let's just rewind the clock a little bit to week 5 of the NFL season, specifically October 8th. Heading into the weekend, the world was so looking forward to this incredible matchup between the high-powered Cowboys defense against this Kyle Shanahan offense, and the game was a big disappointment because the Niners won 42-10. That's not a fun football game, not at all. I'm sorry. All right, that was a Sunday nighter. There was a lot of hype. Let's fast forward to yesterday, December the 3rd. NFL fans across the land were getting excited because the 49ers and the Eagles were about to go to war. You knew it was going to be good because the national media had their panties in a bunch because the 49ers were actually favored on the road against a 10-1 football team. The first time that situation has played out since the NFL merger. Blasphemy, they say. Disrespectful, they say. Well, it says here that the Niners kick some Philly ass. Even the head of security got his feelings hurt. Final score, by the way, 42-19. So I apologize to the great people across this country for being too damn good. I'll see y'all in the Super Bowl.
Wow. 42-19. Did they beat the spread?
Yeah, they covered.
Oh, okay.
Fletch continues to be that guy. It's unbelievable. He is that guy in the group text who will send you like the picture of the Brock Purdy stats.
Right.
And then he
First
shows
in everything, by the way.
Yeah, but
then he shows up on Monday morning. And when he talks about the Niners, he says we and us. I mean,
listen, Brock Purdy yesterday, again, another game where he's damn near perfect. He's incredible.
Oh,
I mean, he's Tom Brady-esque. He's Peyton Manning-esque, which they're both a great watch. For some reason, Brock Purdy's boring to me. I don't know why.
It's like the highest compliment you can pay an NFL quarterback.
All right. Well, I mean, he is.
Yeah, I hate to fan this flame over there on the other side of the production studio glass, but Fletch is right. Fletch is 100% right. When you're an offensive lineman or anybody on the offense, you want your offense to be boring. You just want to go out there and pour it on. You go out there, every play you run works. Counter, power, inside zone. It doesn't matter. We're going to double you. We're going to get 5 yards every time. We don't even have to pull anybody. We'll just put double teams, big bodies on big bodies, get up to the linebacker level. Our back's not going to be touched for 4 yards. And then when he is, he's going to break a tackle. Like, you love that. In the pass game, hey, you want to play us deep? That's fine. We'll take what you're giving us. Hey, you want to play man-to-man? Hey, we got the bad dudes on the outside who can make you pay. Ayuk and Debo. Hey, what's that? Oh, you're going to take away our playmakers on the edges? That's fine. We got George Kittle and we got Christian McCaffrey. See you later.
Right,
We're just going to blow your doors off.
Yeah, I'll take a boring 42-19 win any day of the week.
No, I get it.
Against a 10-1 football team.
I get it. It's crazy because you say big bodies on big bodies, and that's almost what they called this show. Until just a couple months ago when SDFatLoss.com, they stepped in and they're like, we're going to have to trim these bodies down. There's going to be a problem. There's going to be a problem. And they did. And within 8 weeks' time, as a show, collectively, we lost about 120 pounds.
Yeah.
It's been absolutely incredible. I lost 30 pounds. Rich over 35. Fletch over here behind the glass, damn near 50 pounds. Looking slim, looking trim. That Coors Light shirt just hanging off you now. Hanging off you. Good Lord. But if you're thinking, I don't know. I mean, this is the wrong time of year to do this. No. Don't think that at all. Let sdfatloss.com jump in. Let the coaches, let the staff over there jump in. Show you how to lose weight the proper way, the healthy way, the fast way, and you'll get a jump on those New Year's resolutions because in just a couple weeks' time, I promise you're going to be down 10 or 15 pounds. It works. It works. The same thing happened to us. Go ahead. Call them right now or jump online right now. sdfatloss.com. Schedule your free consultation today. They will get you set up. They will get you dialed in right if you're looking to be a little bit trimmer as you head to that holiday party this year. sdfatloss.com. Don't wait. sdfatloss.com.
Awesome stuff there. Okay, coming up next, was it a travesty or the right decision? We'll discuss.
This update is presented by DraftKings Fantasy Sports. We're going to start off here with the college football playoff, the much contended college football playoff. Michigan, the 1 seed, followed by Washington. Those two make sense. Texas and Alabama are the 3-4. Now we wait for almost a month as the first playoff games kick off on January 1st. Locally, the Holiday Bowl has been announced December 27th at Petco Park. It's going to be USC and Louisville. Mark Neville, the CEO of the Holiday Bowl, will be joining the show at 7:30. In the NFL, Chargers get a much-needed win over the Patriots. Final score 6-0 on paper. It was going to be the best matchup of the season, but the Niners boat raced the Eagles 42-19 in Philly. Sunday Night Football, Chiefs fall to the Packers 27-19. Coming up tonight, Bengals in Jacksonville taking on the Jags. That's going to tie a bow on Week 13. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code SPORTS because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
Big Rich and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. Big day today because we have a pair of tickets to go see Depeche Mode at Pechanga Arena on Wednesday night. Now, this concert is sold out. The only way you're getting tickets is to keep listening here to Big Rich and Fletch because at some point in the very near future, we're going to tell you how to win those tickets.
Yeah.
And you got to be locked in.
Looking forward to that. Depeche Mode, big show. We've been having a run of really good concerts coming to San Diego, a run of a lot of great concert tickets right here on San Diego Sports 760. But
just
especially,
wait till you see what we got coming up, man.
Oh, man.
We got one that's going to get you too.
Don't.
What?
I'm
not going to spoil it.
Okay. I was going to say, don't spoil it.
But we have a concert coming up that you two are going to probably try to fight our listeners so you could go see instead of them.
Spice Girls?
Okay. No. When you said you two, did you mean the band?
Was that like a
tease?
Yeah, a little teaser.
Okay. Also, if you're listening today on the free iHeartRadio app, we appreciate it. If you haven't yet downloaded it, though, download the free iHeartRadio app. You can listen to us live every morning. Take us with you wherever you go. Also, you could share the show with friends, subscribe, like, follow, do all those things. It definitely helps us out. Okay. So, college football has lost its mind. Or maybe it is done finally what it said it was going to do the whole time. Let me explain it from both sides, and I want to hear your guys' opinions. Right. So the way it loses its mind is by having an undefeated conference champion out of the opportunity to win a championship. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so everybody agrees the Seminoles deserve it. I think when you look at their track record, what they've been able to do, by the way, winning a conference championship with a third-string quarterback, my goodness, yeah, they deserve to be there. However, arguing it from the other side, is it what would be best for the television product, having potentially, if he gets healthy, a third or a second-string quarterback back in the game because you know your starter, Jordan Travis, who was a Heisman hopeful, isn't going to be out there. If Florida State almost definitely would be a first-round bounce. So did they make the right decision or not?
Well, my question for you, if Jordan Travis didn't get hurt, Florida State's definitely in the playoff, right?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I still don't think so.
So he put out a tweet actually yesterday that said, devastated, heartbroken, in so much disbelief right now. I wish my leg broke earlier in the season so you could have seen that this team is much more than just the quarterback. I thought results matter. 13-0, and this roster matches up against any team in those top 4 rankings. I am so sorry. Go Noles.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel that way. What's the point? Why keep score? Why keep a track of a record? What does it matter if somebody else is just picking who's going to go? I get it. I understand why they did it. I understand why they want to make a made-for-TV product. I understand it is about making some money here. I get it all. But if the NFL did this, if it was the NFC Championship game and Jalen Hurts got injured last year and did not play in the Super Bowl, would they just be like, you know what? Let's just put somebody else there? No,
it would never happen.
No, ever. Because you're watering down the product.
Because results matter. Because everyone having a shot is part of sports, and that's just not what it is in college football. Randy Scott, who covers college football for ESPN, put out this tweet, and I think it sums up the story of this perfectly. And he did it from 2 points of view, from the selection committee and from Florida State. So he says, selection committee says you should schedule tough non-conference games. Florida State says, will we beat LSU and Florida this year? Committee says you should really be a Power 5 conference champion. FSU, we won the ACC this year. Committee, you should be undefeated. FSU, we're 13-0. Committee, LOL, you guys aren't going to believe this. you're out of the postseason.
Yeah, well, listen, I living in the world of reality. If there was a way to keep them out, of course the networks and the committee would want to keep them out, because this is about money. This isn't about feelings. This isn't about even competition. This is WWE. This is sports entertainment. Yeah. This playoff committee is a farce. This playoff is a farce. It's been, and I've been saying this since it was instituted. You cannot decide a national champion in this format. Four teams. That's it. We're gonna boil it down and distill it to 4 teams. When every single level of football, from high school to Division III to Division II to 1AA to Power 5 and Group of 5. I mean, well, not actually them excluded, the 130 teams that make up college football at the Division I level, the NFL. But we can't do it that way here. Why? It doesn't make any sense. Mike Norvell, this is what he says, the head coach of the Seminoles. What's the point of even playing games? Do you tell players it's okay to quit if someone goes down? Do you not play senior day for fear of injury? What is the motivation to schedule challenging non-conference games then? I'm hurting for our players who have displayed a tremendous amount of resilience and response to this season. What's happened today goes against everything that is true and right for college football. A team overcame tremendous adversity. It found a way to do whatever it took on the field, and it was cheated today. Jordan Travis goes down, and so does their opportunity to play in the championship or play in the playoff to win a championship, because this isn't about competition. This is about a television product. And to be perfectly honest with you, I get it. There's going to be more viewers tuning in to see Alabama taking on Michigan. That's the reality of the situation, folks.
Yep. Now, does Alabama have a better shot at beating Michigan than Florida State would have?
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Yes. Look, it's going to be a better matchup, and I get it. But guess what? Sports don't work that way. So if you want to call Michigan or Alabama or Texas or Washington a national championship or a national champion, which they will, then you have to do it the right way. They didn't do it the right way. They haven't done it the right way the entire time they've been doing this 4-team bracket. And so there hasn't been a national champion since 2015, or actually, frankly, the way they did it when it was the BCS didn't work either. There hasn't been a national champion in forever.
Yeah, it's a joke. I mean, it's a joke. You're right. 4 teams. Come on. And then just people just picking them. It's, to me, this, I don't know. This, I agree with you, Rich. This is a good call on the money standpoint. This is a terrible call for sports in general.
Well, what else is Florida State supposed to do? They literally did everything in their mind, in their power, in order to get to the college football playoff, and they still don't get in. So the barrier of entry is just ridiculous at this point, because they were perfect. They did everything perfect this season, except your quarterback broke his leg.
Well, and the committee said for years and years and years that they would weigh in injuries, and they would take that into account too. But they've never done anything like this so blatantly to a team who's lost a starting quarterback. I think it's kind of a unique situation. I can't remember exactly going back through the history of this playoff bracket if there's ever been a situation like this. But I mean, shoot, Alabama's playing with their backup quarterback too. Jalen Moreau was not the starter to start the season. So this is one of those interesting things. Now, granted, he's played very well this season. He saved their season, you could argue, but it is what it is.
I'm going for the Huskies.
If this committee was picking teams for the basketball national championship, do you think last season they would have picked SDSU?
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
I mean,
or UConn, of the teams
right?
who were in the national championship would have been selected out of the, like, if you were going with the top 4 teams.
This is part of the beauty of sports. I mean, this is what makes sports special.
By the way, apply that to baseball. Would the Arizona Diamondbacks have been one of the picks this year?
Right.
Hell no. Would the Texas
way.
Rangers? Hell no. Those
Right.
are the 2 teams that played for the World Series.
Right.
Let's leave some meat on the bone, because we could chomp on this topic, and we will, throughout the whole day. Weigh in on the text line as well, 70470. I know there's a lot of college football fans out there. Start your message with team. Was this a travesty, or is this the matchups that you want to see in the college football playoffs?
Month from now, by the way.
No, dude, yeah, it takes a while. I had to buy
January 1st is when these games will be played.
What
It's so stupid.
Hey, by the way, if you're looking for a world-class dentist where all procedures are done in the same office with state-of-the-art technology, then look no further than my dentist, my doctor, Dr. Jordan Colby of Ocean View Dental. He could give you teeth in a day plus a winning smile. Head to oceanviewdental.net. I got to tell you, I was really nervous about the procedure I was about to have with Dr. Jordan Colby. I needed a tooth removed. I needed 3 implants put in. It was a lot. It was a lot. Like a lot to the point where I had one dentist who I saw prior to going to Ocean View Dental who told me this was going to be a 1.5-year process, 18 months. I didn't even know where to start. I didn't know when to start. I knew this with the old dentist I was seeing. I was told that I had to go to 3 different medical offices before I could even get this procedure started. Well, with Dr. Colby, he explained my procedure and showed me a digital picture of what everything entailed, and I felt 100% confident and comfortable. So his motto is no matter your situation, he can help you create a confident, healthy smile. His advanced specialty is implants, and after doing my homework and meeting with him, I trust Dr. Colby 100%. He's built a world-class, family-oriented dental practice at Ocean View Dental. He has one in Fallbrook as well that provides excellent dental care, personal and professional attention you and your family deserve. He's got the latest and advanced dental technology, including digital x-rays, 3D CT imaging, dental lasers, Invisalign veneers, and so much more at Ocean View Dental. I'm truly treated like a part of the family, and I love it. Ocean View Dental patients come from all over Southern California, by the way, because they're a full-service dental office with multiple options at their fingertips. They get you the smile you want and need in most cases in just one day. OceanViewDental.net. If you're like me, especially if extensive dental needs, I want you to go to my Instagram account as well, at Rich Ornberger. I'm going to post today on my story one of the before and after photos from his account. It is going to blow your mind. OceanViewDental.net.
The NFL may have a problem, and it's the refs. We'll talk about it next.
Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you. A very busy weekend in the NFL. Exclamation point, Sunday Night Football. Packers find a way against the Chiefs. That's a huge win for Jordan Love and the Pack. 3 in a row now?
Yeah,
and Jordan Love's putting together a resume, and he's saying, hey, keep me.
Yeah.
You drafted me in the first round. I sat behind A-Rod for a while here. Keep me. You better not go back in the draft and get a quarterback. Well, here's how it ended for the Chiefs, and there should have been a penalty called on this play. We'll explain on the other side.
An Alabama miracle here. Mahomes going to buy the time, circle around, look, flip it up to the end zone. Kelsey down there, lot of contact, incomplete, no flag. Packers win.
So you hear Tirico, he goes, lot of contact. The reason why, Kelsey, it looked like it was the movie Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze. He basically like shoved out the saloon.
Yeah, 2 hands in the back. He was nowhere near it when the ball got there. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't. So that particular play on the Hail Mary, I don't know if I care so much on the jump ball. Okay.
But it's also never going to get called.
Yeah. Hang on. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
No. You're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. So how about Marquez Valdez-Scantling getting absolutely manhandled by a Packers defensive back?
Yeah, that one should be called.
Okay, Spot foul at the 5?
Yeah. Okay, but 2 plays before that, I don't remember who the Chiefs receiver was. It may have been Scantling, but he catches the ball on the sideline. His forward progress is stopped.
Okay.
And he's being pushed backwards towards the line of scrimmage, which means
clock
should run.
Right.
He reaches the ball out of bounds after the fact, like 2 seconds after the fact, and the ref calls him out of bounds. That's BS. That shouldn't happen.
Okay.
A few plays before that, Patrick Mahomes on the sideline, inbounds, moving forward. They call for a late hit out of bounds.
Okay, so
BS.
What's crazy about that? Okay, and you're absolutely right. All these things that have just been brought up are accurate and should be reviewed by the league because Patrick Mahomes wasn't giving himself up. He was running for the first down marker.
Right. And the rule states the quarterback should be treated as a running back in that situation. That's not treated like a running back.
They throw the flag for unnecessary roughness. And if you go back and you look at the film, the reason why they threw that flag is because Patrick Mahomes was hit too hard. Like, what are we, like, it was a clean hit.
Yeah.
It was shoulder to shoulder. It was on the sideline in bounds. And by the way, and Patrick Mahomes was trying to stay in bounds to get the first down.
Yeah, I mean, it was inches away from a first down.
So 2 things can be true at the same time. That could have been pass interference, which it was. Marquez Valdez-Scantling got manhandled. That should have been a flag.
Was PI.
It should have been a flag.
Yeah.
Also, the Chiefs have been bailed out in situations like that so many times on crappy calls. I am more than okay with them keeping the flag in the pocket.
But I hate the that was a crappy call. You owe me a crappy call.
I agree.
I hate it.
I agree. You call the game fairly. If you saw it as unnecessary roughness, that's fine. But that was PI. But that was PI on the Packers. And by the way, completely agree with what you just said. Receivers, forward progress stopped on the sideline. I know it's the Kansas City Chiefs, and I know you want drama, but you can't change the rules because you want to see more football.
So stupid.
You run the clock.
And
I don't care if KC doesn't have timeouts. You run the clock.
We're in a situation once again where on a Sunday Night Football game that I thought was a really good game and really entertaining is decided by referees.
Ruined.
Yeah,
ruined.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I mean, you're seeing Twitter, you're seeing Instagram, Facebook, everybody lighting up, complaining that the refs are messing with their money. Yeah, I mean, people got money on these games, man, and it's ruined by bad calls.
The product struggles and suffers when you have overeager officiating or just poor officiating. I've been saying it for years. Pay these guys $1 million. Pay these guys $2 million a piece. I want to see officiating colleges. I want to see people commit their lives to this. I want to see this be a full-time job. It is still a part-time job in the NFL. In the NFL, this is a company that is printing money. They're making billions and billions of dollars in profit annually. You can't keep the officials full-time?
It needs to be in elite positions. It needs to be the elite of elite positions. Like, it needs to be really hard to be a ref, and it needs to be really easy to lose your job if you're a ref.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
And guess what? When things like this happen, end of game situations like this happen with the Chiefs, where it felt like they were trying to keep the Chiefs in this game, keep their hopes alive for this final drive. I want to review I want it to be reviewed like the Zapruder film. I want them to get in there. I want this to be treated like a presidential assassination.
Can you imagine how tiring it would be, though, if there's committee after committee opened up because there has to be some investigation done? It would be every game.
We need more regulation. We need more committees.
It would be every game unless you had the best of the best always reffing.
So here's the deal.
And it needs to be something that, like, you have to, like Rich said, work your entire life to get. And it needs to be something that you have a threat of losing your job every single game.
Okay, so the threat of losing your job every single game should be the NFL going, look, we found that the robots can do this better. So unless you guys stop screwing it up, we're going to have the robots do this because they do it better.
If they can, then the robots should be in charge.
Dude, until they turn on us, and then all of a sudden, our biggest complaint is like Travis Kelce gets shoved in the back by a Packers. What happens if a robot tears him in half?
Ooh,
can you imagine if all of a sudden he's like,
that will happen.
I want Taylor. I'm the ultimate Swiftie. And all of a sudden you see Travis Kelce's severed body kicking on the field.
Wait, are we actually going to have robot refs or just cameras that make the calls?
Oh, I get it. I get it now. Yeah.
I'm with Rich.
I was looking at this.
Cyborgs on the field.
We should do robot refs.
I was looking at this a lot different. I was thinking of like conveyor belt style, like train tack wheels. Like it just like, oh boy.
However, if we had robot refs, we would never hear a ref say the word butt cheek ever again.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
It's neat when you hear the word butt cheek on
it. Really felt like he didn't care anymore.
His butt cheeks touched, so that he's a downed receiver.
That's right.
There you have it. Want to talk to you guys about underdog fantasy. I had a pick'em going on that Sunday nighter between the Chiefs and the Packers. But if you're into the NBA, now's the time to get in. We got the knockout stage coming up in Vegas. We're gonna have semifinals in Vegas. The knockout stage, I actually don't know if that's in Vegas. I really don't know how the in-season tournament works in the NBA, to be perfectly honest with you. But what I do know is every time I log onto the Underdog Fantasy app, I get to put my pick'em in on the NBA regardless. And it is a blast. If you don't know how it works, it's super simple. You pick between 2 and 5 players. It's fantasy, but you can win real money. You select whether they go higher or lower on their stats, then watch the games. You can win up to 20 times your money in a single game, going 5 for 5. Legal in California, ton of fun to play. And then watch these in-season tournament games. Super, super simple. I do this all the time. You hear me talk about it all the time. You see me post about it all the time on my social media. So it's up to you now to go to their easy-to-use mobile app, underdogfantasy.com. And when you do, sign up with promo code XTRA. Underdog's going to double your first deposit up to $100. Plus, new customers get a mystery special pick live in their Pick'em lobby. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code XTRA. That first deposit of $10 or more, doubled up to $100, plus the special pick. It's all there waiting for you. Must be 18 plus, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Coming up next, we spin the wheel of football. And also we get back to the college football playoff committee. Did they nail it or not? That's next.
It's hour 2 on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. We're going to start off here in the NFL, where the Chargers get a much-needed win over the Patriots. That was a 6-0 incredible football game. Also on paper, it was going to be the best matchup of the season, but the Niners boat raced the Eagles 42-19 in Philly. Sunday Night Football, Chiefs fall to the Packers 27-19. Coming up tonight, Bengals in Jacksonville taking on the Jags. That'll tie a bow on Week 13. In college football, the playoff bracket is set, a very contentious one, as Michigan is the 1 seed, followed by Washington, Texas, and Alabama. And now we wait for almost a month. The first playoff games kick off on January 1st. Locally, the Holiday Bowl has been announced December 27th at Petco Park. It's going to be USC and Louisville. Mark Neville going to join the show in about 30 minutes to talk about it. Check out what DraftKings has to offer this season with code SPORTS, because life's more fun when you're in on the action. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Age and eligibility restrictions do apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
Woo! Happy Monday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with all of you out there who are listening. College football playoff rankings are in. We'll get into that in just a few. We also have Depeche Mode tickets. Woo! We're giving those away today on the show. We had a full NFL slate of games, so we'll be spinning the wheel of football coming up in just a few moments. But we got into it just a second ago. Instagram ads and TikTok ads, they're starting to target us in different ways.
It's getting wild.
It's getting a little bit weird.
Yeah.
By the way, I was at a basketball game.
Some of these problems,
I was at a basketball game up in Slow with my mother.
Yeah.
And I opened up my Twitter account, and the first thing that pops up is an advertisement for some yoga pants or something.
Okay, good.
Which I definitely subscribe to.
Good.
And my mom says, "Are you playing How Many Swipes to a Butt right now?"
Yeah, mom's in.
Did you play with her?
No.
She gets it. You should have said, "Mom, open your TikTok account. Let's go."
Should we go?
Let's
and
do
she
it.
said something along the lines of, "I know I'm not your target audience, but your show is gross."
Okay, well we are indeed gross, and we're going to test that theory here.
Oh, wait.
TikTok is opened. We are swiping. I should lower the volume.
I mean,
2, 3. How many swipes to a butt?
I don't know. I would
6.
probably say it qualifies.
Was
that 1?
Yeah.
Wow. Mine was 3. I don't know. This woman apparently is just shopping at Home Depot.
Yeah, but she's got her full butt out.
What?
Yeah, and dancing in the aisles.
Yeah.
Wow, TD, yoga pants and Home Depot. That's like your dreams.
By the way, I was when in Los Angeles over the weekend.
Yeah.
We went by the Grove of Los Angeles. I don't know where we were.
Oh yeah, the Grove. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Actually, my father-in-law used to own Dupar's over there.
Okay,
it's like a big pancake diner.
Yeah. So in the wild, I watched it go down live. Somebody making like a produced TikTok. They had like the light filters, and I mean it was really happening. And I watched in awe.
Yeah.
I've never seen it before.
When you're in LA, if you go to any of the big malls or outdoor shopping venues in LA, you are going to see influencers. Like it happens. They actually have accounts now that are dedicated to influencers. One really famous one is called Influencers in the Wild. And all it is just people taking video of themselves in public places.
Oh, yeah.
And so you see all the production, like when it's like fall in the Northeast, all of a sudden you see like 3 people throwing leaves over the top of the camera.
It was snowing in LA.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
so ridiculous.
It was, and like, no shame. I mean, there's people who are walking around shopping and they do not care.
It's going to require some effort, but I do think that you and me and Ben,
yes.
Okay, this show, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch, we need to start doing this sort of production.
Okay.
And but doing it at like taco shops around San Diego and then setting up other people to take video camera footage of others in the taco shop while you guys are literally pegging me in the face with quesadillas and burrito and taco sauce. And I'm just,
yes. I love the fall. Okay.
We're going to go ahead and mark that one.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's gonna be great. Yeah, well, I did say that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Ben just whispered something into my ear.
You don't have to dump that, though.
No, that's fine. That can stay in. That's a part of the show
That's
forever.
Fine.
Okay. Do you guys want to do it? You want to spin the wheel? Okay. The wheel of football. It's back. All right. Got a bunch of topics on the wheel, and as the wheel spins, it lands on. Okay. We got a little bit of a shakeup in the Super Bowl odds. Niners plus 300, Chiefs plus 500 after that loss, Eagles plus 600 after their loss, Ravens in fourth place plus 700. If you had $100 to spend and you had to spend it on one team, and again, remember, you're chasing the best odds, the most value, where do you put your money right now?
How do you not put it on the Niners? How do you not put it on the Niners, which we said several weeks ago when all of a sudden the Niners come out. They look like they're on fire again. They had a few weeks that they stymied a bit, and then all of a sudden they get it right, and they look unstoppable to me. I don't know who's going to beat them. I would put that money on the Niners all day.
Well, if we're talking value, if I'm talking about trying to get the biggest win out of that $100, first of all, I'm getting it out in nickels, so it looks like a lot more money. And second of all, it's going on the Dolphins, who are plus 800 right now, who are playing incredible offensive and pretty good defensive football if you haven't been watching. So the Miami Dolphins would get my $100.
You know what, Fletch? I don't think you're wrong on that. And the Chiefs being the number 2 position here to win the Super Bowl, it doesn't feel that way to me. And I've been back and forth. I've been swaying back and forth. Like last week was a get right game to the Chiefs to me. All of a sudden the Chiefs felt like, oh, they're Super Bowl champs again. And then you see a game like yesterday and go, nah, there's better teams out there.
I know, I get it, but that's Patty Mahomes.
I know.
And also he gets all the help from the NFL in terms of officiating. And also remember who's in the booth watching those games. They want T Swift at the Super Bowl. So you are going to be plays away from him winning his next Super Bowl championship, his next Super Bowl MVP. If I'm risking 100 to win 500, I'm putting it on the Chiefs right now today. That's where the value's at. Let's spin the wheel. I love this game.
That was a big spin. I didn't mean to spin much.
Never apologize for spinning the mess out of that wheel.
It was like Price is Right, where you do the tick, 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 tick up
first. No, we got the broken leg one.
Okay. Wheel of Football says, and we must speak on it. So a member of the chain gang
so bad
during the Saints game, Alvin Kamara running off the field. He can't get out of the way quick enough, and he gets his knee absolutely buckled. He is screaming in agony. He's holding his thigh. His leg is twisted around upside down and backwards. He's literally shouting. He's like, and Alvin Kamara is just looking at him like, you all right, Chief? Okay, I got to run. See you. And he just ran away.
Well, the play clock's moving, Rich. He's got to get back on the field.
That is true. They don't stop the clock for that. It was rough to see.
So I'm assuming a chain gang,
exactly,
they'd be employed by the NFL.
Correct.
Right? So this guy, if he's all his medical expenses will be taken care of, but also is he able to sue?
Yeah, I mean,
or at least a fat workman's comp.
Wait, you don't think that there's some sort of liability signed on
There's
that?
There's got to be.
I think so. I mean, it depends obviously on you can sue for whatever you want. You'll lose,
you
maybe.
Can. Yeah.
It'll mean you'll never work in the league again. So if he likes the job, then he shouldn't sue. If he wants to come back and do the job at some point, and still get, lifetime medical probably out of the NFL.
Now, what's the appropriate thing for Alvin Kamara to do in this situation? He doesn't have to do anything.
Sign jersey.
Yeah,
exactly. I would say that's the
exactly.
bare minimum. And if it could be the jersey that he wore in the game where he trucked him, that would be even better, because that's a heck of a story to tell. Hey, listen, my leg don't work no more, but I do have this signed jersey from Alvin Kamara.
Would you peel him off like a gift card to a really nice steak restaurant or something also?
Yes.
Yeah,
for sure. You got to do at least that. All right. The wheel of football is in motion.
Ooh. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do this. We got it. How secure is Brandon Staley's job security right now?
Okay. All right. So the Chargers beat the Patriots 6-0. Okay. A lot of people are like, well, so what? They could only muster 6 points. I get it. But it was a good win. You go to Foxborough against a Bill Belichick defense and you get a win. Surviving Foxborough is a difficult thing to do. Ask anybody who's ever played there. Look, I'm not saying his job is secure. It's not like that won him his job for the season. He'll still most likely get fired in the offseason, but there's no way they make a move on him, especially after a victory like that.
Richie, I love you. I respect that you played for both these teams. You're blind on this one. that win does nothing for Brandon Staley. I know you kind of said that, but he's getting fired. Not maybe in season, but he's getting fired. This win has nothing to do with it. And Gillette Stadium is not a tough place to win anymore. Not with this iteration of the Patriots.
I don't know, man. Look at their home record and look at what teams do offensively against the Patriots at home. It falls more in their favor than it does.
I
They
agree.
have 2 wins this year.
I agree with Fletch on this one. I do not think this the seat got any cooler with that win. That win was ugly. That win was gross. That win had no stats behind it. That win had nothing to do with how great Brandon Staley is as a coach. I mean, that to me, that was you won because the Pats are horrible.
Well, hang on.
Horrible.
I think what we're doing is instead of complimenting Brandon Staley, you're actually speaking negatively of Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
I mean, when you win a close game against the New England Patriots, that means that you've outfoxed Bill Belichick.
This is true. This is very true. However,
since when is that an easy thing to do? I mean, I'm just
2023. That's since when.
Okay.
The Patriots are a bad football team, and you won by 6 points.
I get it, but like Bill Belichick is a very good coach. I don't know. I'm more impressed with this than clearly you guys are. Here's the thing. It doesn't save his job, but I definitely think that it for sure cools off the seat a little bit.
And at the end of the day, a win is a win. The problem with Brandon Staley trying to keep his job is he's going to have to rack up enough of them to get him into the postseason, I think, to save his job.
Probably about 5 more.
Right. Yeah.
And he doesn't get to play the Patriots every week, mind you.
This is true.
This
is true.
Although I bet he wishes they would. All right, coming up next here, we just landed on something that I think, again, is going to split the room. NFL officiating, how big of a problem is it this year? Remember, we have the playoffs looming in the very near future. So is this as big of an issue as we want to make it, playing Monday morning quarterback after a Sunday night football game ruined by officiating? Or is this something that will simmer down and won't be as big of an issue as we think?
I feel like the issue will remain the same. I feel like we've been complaining about this for season after season, and there's been a number of games that we have tossed out to, that was because of this bad call or non-call. The problem is it's not changing. So we're just going to keep complaining about it. To me, if the NFL or if we as fans wanted to see changes happen immediately, then don't bet on anything for a week. It's not going to happen. But if you hit the NFL in their pocketbook just for a hot second, they would make some changes.
You're Boston Tea Partying the NFL.
That's exactly correct.
I don't hate it. It's a good idea.
You know what?
Here's my
Proud
thing.
American.
I don't think NFL officiating has changed at all over my entire lifetime, over your entire lifetimes. I think it's just more noticeable now because of the money that people have on games, because of the angles that we get on TV.
HDTV, baby.
HDTV ruined NFL officiating. It really did, because it used to be just, the ref put the ball there, so that's where it is. The ref threw that flag, so that's what it is. Now we can analyze every single thing, and we're becoming more intelligent as football fans, so we know the rule book, and so every little thing can be scrutinized. And when you're looking for something, you're probably going to find it.
Yeah, the way I see it is, as sports betting becomes more and more a part of the way people consume sports, because this is being legalized state to state now. Everybody's got their sports book on their phones now. They need to make a change. Officiating is going to torpedo this league if they don't make a change. That's how I see the next 10 years going. If they don't change this is going to ruin the sport. All right.
Wheel of football spinning. And okay, here we go. Why are there buys right now? Why are there any buys in the NFL right now? Why is not every team playing in the league this week?
Well, guess what? If you think it's egregious in week 13, there's bye weeks in week 14.
Wait, there are?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys don't know this. The Commanders are going to, and the Cardinals both have bye weeks in week 14.
That's fine. I don't need to see either of them. But this week, having 6 teams on bye this late in the season does feel kind of gross.
Well, I mean, think of it from this standpoint. Whether or not you think the Commanders or the Cardinals are worth a damn, the fact that any player in the league has to play 13 games before they have a bye week? Are you kidding me?
Just a couple years ago, the season was 16 games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you take the last week off?
I mean, this is insanity. And, yeah, I think what they should do is they should compress the schedule to have buys only through a window, say week 6 through 10. I don't know how many teams would have to be on bye to get through all of them, but you got to figure this out because that is horrible. This is going to lead to a major injury of a star player, and they're going to have to change the rules. So why? Let's head this thing off at the pass. Why wait?
Right. Yeah, no kidding. Well, there it is, man.
Well, we haven't really spent time on it because it happened Friday night late, but San Diego State goes into UCSD at Lion Tree Arena. Awesome environment. I want to give a quick round of applause to UCSD students that showed up. That place holds 4,000 people. 2,500 of them were students, and they were loud, man. They were loud. But San Diego State escapes. They were down 14 in the second half, boys. That would have been a horrible loss. It's still a bad win, but a bad win is a lot better than a horrible loss. So San Diego State drops metrically quite a bit because of this one. They'll look to get back on track tomorrow when they play Grand Canyon at Grand Canyon. Tough game there. College football playoff bracket is now set. Michigan, the 1 seed, followed by Washington, Texas, and Alabama. Go Huskies. Now we wait for almost a month. The first playoff games will kick off January 1st. The whole month-long wait thing, I hate it in baseball because it feels like the World Series goes on forever. College football's got to figure this out, man.
It's no bueno.
We have weeks and weeks until we see meaningful football games played again at the college level.
Why not fill it up with playoff games?
Oh, I know.
Why not fill the time?
What a novel idea,
TD. What just doesn't make any sense.
Well, I love that you said that because I have a solution for college football if they're listening. And a lot of people hate this. A lot of people say, Rich, this is one of your worst takes ever. I don't care. Bear with me because if you really think about it, what it would do is it would make football watchable at the college football level in the postseason. It would be an actual postseason. Just mimic what college basketball did. 10 regular season games, okay? Have one non-conference. You're only allowed to schedule one non-conference game, all right? The first 2 rounds of the opening playoff with 64 teams invited are going to be played at the higher seeds home. All right. You can have sponsorships on all these games. You could welcome in corporate sponsors. So this opening round of 64 game is brought to you by X, Y, or Z. This corner of the bracket is brought to you by Allstate. This corner of the bracket is brought to you by TireRack.com. Whatever, right? You get big corporate sponsors on that part of the bracket, 64 through the round of 32. Then you get to the Sweet 16. Guess what you do then? That's when the bowl circuit starts. That's where you start hearing about the Holiday Bowl. We start hearing about the whatever it is, the Alamo Bowl or the what do they call it? The Cheez-It Citrus Bowl.
The Rob Gronkowski Bowl in Los Angeles.
The Gronk Bowl. And get all those out of the way during this round of Sweet 16 and the Elite 8. And then you get to the Final Four. And we have the CFP. We have what it was when this whole thing first started, this farcical college football playoff. And we'll get to the most recent rankings. And then we'll have an actual national champion. Because when you're drawing from 64 teams, and that represents still less than half of the teams playing in major college football, to me, that feels pure.
I love the idea. I think it works better. You'll get more eyeballs because of that. But what will make it never happen is that they're worried Alabama will get knocked out in the first round. They're worried that the ball will bounce in a weird way, leading to one of these teams that get all the ratings knocked out early, and then they won't have them the rest of the way.
Yeah, tough. I mean, come on. This is sports. You just picking a name arbitrarily out of a hat, or I mean, it's not arbitrarily, but picking a name essentially.
No, arbitrarily is the right word.
What's going to be the matchup is ridiculous. Let's see this thing play out. Let's actually see who is the best of the best.
I know you're speaking from the standpoint of the networks, and you're speaking from the standpoint of the conferences and the head coach at Alabama, and you're right. That's how they feel about it. But if they were to make better sense of the whole health of this picture, they would realize that college basketball has $1 billion enterprise every March because of March Madness, because of the brackets. If you could print a college football bracket, are you kidding me?
Right.
In the month of February?
It'd be huge.
Can you, February Madness or February Fever? Are you kidding me?
And you think about college basketball, some of the most beloved teams are the ones you weren't expecting to go long, right?
Exactly.
And that's the teams that people fall in love with. And that's the teams that get the highest ratings in the end.
Buddy,
why couldn't you still do this in January? I mean, I know what they're also looking for this, New Year's, a New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, get these games out here at the beginning of the new year because of the eyes available to watch the games. Okay, there's time off. I get it. But give me a break.
I mean, you could do this. You could move it up to December. It could be all through the month of December. And I understand like weather does play a role in all this and teams traveling and blah, blah, blah. But they get it done in the NFL. This is big business at the college level. You can find a way. And there would be buku dollars. We're talking about billions of dollars. All right. So the College Football Playoff Committee screwed up in the eyes of many. It's Michigan, Washington. That's 1 and 2. And then number 3 and 4 are the controversy. Texas gets in and Alabama gets in. So Texas is 3, Alabama is the 4 seed. Georgia falls from 1 to 6 after losing the SEC championship to the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Very possible Georgia's the best team in the country, by the way.
Florida State is out after being undefeated conference champions. They're out. So the question is, do they even care at this point? They know that the playoff brackets expanded to 12 next year. So did they just do whatever they wanted?
I think they also know that people are going to be upset about it right now, but come January 1st, people will have forgotten that they're upset and be excited for Alabama, Michigan. That's my guess.
Well, people are going to watch it regardless. I mean, people will watch it. It's going to be a great football game. That's not where the hang-up lies. The hang-up lies in the fact that it just doesn't feel like you're actually picking who the top team is. I mean, that's what we're not going to see. We're not actually going to see a national champion. We're going to see someone who was just picked to play.
Yeah. Look, this is the reason why college football's postseason in general struggles is because you're just picking teams at random. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of these bowl games, they're really exciting. They pick good teams. They always have these close affairs, and certain bowls really get labeled that way. And I think there's a lot of interest in those bowl games, but that's not how a national champion should be selected. You know, bowl games just for the sake of bowl games, that's not good. But a national champion? Like, we can't just say, I guess so we have a defensible resume. Those 4.
Yeah, right.
How is that sports?
Right.
How is that sports?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Okay, let's move off of that and talk about my feet. Okay.
Yes.
We do this all the time.
Yeah.
The Good Feet store has saved my feet. They've saved my back. So how this works is they have arch supports for sale at the Good Feet store. You go in, it's a try before you buy situation. You test walk in these things. You make sure you're 100% comfortable and you're dialed in. And then you walk out of there and all you have to do, this is all the work you have to do, is just make sure that you put your arch supports in your footwear. That's it. And then you're going to start seeing the results. And what were my results? I walked in there with back pain. I don't have back pain anymore. Like, that's the reality of the situation. It was crazy. So struggle with back pain throughout the end of my professional playing career in the NFL. And then I found the Good Feet store. I was talking to orthopedists. I was scheduled for an MRI, and I went to the Good Feet store. And I didn't ever end up using the referral. Like, it just helped. It melts away the back pain. You feel much better on the other side, or at least I did. That was my experience. And many people have reported the same experience. So if you are struggling with knee pain, hip pain, ankle pain, foot pain, back pain like I was, and you're looking for results and you're considering surgery, geez, do everything before you go under the knife, including going to the Good Feet store. So goodfeet.com is where you can schedule your first appointment or your next, and find a location nearest you. The Good Feet store, saving people's lives with these arch supports. Okay, coming up next, speaking of bowl games, we got an exciting one slated for San Diego, the Holiday Bowl coming up this month in December 27th. The announcement was made. Louisville taking on USC. The Trojans coming down the I-5. Mark Neville, CEO of San Diego Sports Association, joins us next.
We got the Holiday Bowl coming up December 27th. Mark Neville, the CEO of the San Diego Sports Association, in studio. Next, let's talk about it.
This update is presented by Staples Stores. We're going to start off here with the Holiday Bowl. It's been announced December 27th at Petco Park. It's going to be USC and Louisville. Mark Neville in studio going to talk about it coming up next. In the NFL, Chargers get a much-needed win over the Patriots. Final score 6-0. On paper, it was supposed to be the best matchup of the season, but the San Francisco 49ers boat raced the Philadelphia Eagles 42-19 in Philly. Sunday Night Football, Chiefs fall to the Packers 27-19. Coming up tonight, we got the Jags hosting the Bengals. That's going to tie a bow on Week 13 in the NFL. Staples Holiday Deals means amazing savings right now for the holiday season. Right now, save up to 50% on custom holiday cards and invitations, as well as custom photo gifts like mugs and calendars. Offer ends 12/16. Visit staples.com/print for more details. Have yourself a merry little holiday deal at Staples.
Big Rich, CD, and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. Still have a couple giveaways to do here. We have a pair of tickets to Depeche Mode at Pechanga Arena. That's happening this Wednesday night. This concert sold out. Only way you're getting them is to listen here. Also, we have a family 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld San Diego, where the wonders of the sea meet the joy of Christmas at SeaWorld San Diego's Christmas celebration, happening now through January 7th. So keep it locked in.
I love this game so much. I'm looking forward to it so much. I've been on the call every single year that I've been here broadcasting in San Diego. The Holiday Bowl returns at Petco Park December 27th. It's going to be broadcasted live on Fox. It's going to be live right here on San Diego Sports 760, kickoff 5 p.m. And get your popcorn, because we have two high-powered ACC and Pac-12 teams Pac-12 for the final time, really.
Right.
It's gonna be the two,
exactly.
the two-pack coming up here next season. But Louisville is going to take on USC for the 44th Holiday Bowl, and it's going to be followed by KGB Sky Show. I mean, what more could you ask for other than to speak to our good friend Mark Neville, CEO of San Diego Sports? Buddy, how you doing?
Doing awesome now that we got our matchup.
Yeah, no doubt. This is exciting. I mean, you made the announcement yesterday, but I think we make it official here. You want to lay it out? You were a busy guy yesterday.
It was a day yesterday. I will say, just really, it was not a great day for college football yesterday. I think what the committee did was really a travesty. I think when you had a 13-0 Florida State, the ACC in head-to-head did better than the SEC. They actually had more. They won more games than the SEC did.
Went against each other.
Head-to-head. And they talked about Jordan Travis, quarterback of Florida State, being injured. Well, they won with their second-string quarterback, and then he got a concussion. They won on Saturday night with a third-string quarterback, a true freshman. Football is the ultimate team game, and it's not just one player. Again, quarterback's really important position, but it is a team game. The defense for Florida State was unbelievable on Saturday night. And so the fact that they got left out to an Alabama team that barely got lucky beating Auburn a couple weeks ago. And Auburn, who lost to New Mexico State. I mean, it's just it was a bummer. I always talk about how the regular season in college football is the best regular season of any sport at any level. For championship contending teams, every week is a playoff. They can't lose. And Alabama lost.
Right.
Florida State did not.
Right.
And it to me, I just feel that the SEC wasn't going to stand having a playoff without them in it. And with the ACC winning the head-to-head battle against the SEC has one team in the CFP games, and the SEC has 4. Now, I will say, that all being said, Louisville should be in the Orange Bowl. They absolutely should be in the Orange Bowl. So this is our benefit.
Yeah.
They're now coming to San Diego as 15th ranked team in the country to play in Petco Park in the DirecTV.
How about that? And that kid, Plummer, he can really play. And then obviously we don't have any determination on whether or not Caleb Williams is going to play or not, but hopefully he does because he is electric. That USC Trojans offense has been amazing this season. So it's written every year, Fletch, you've been to these games. It's just a scoring bonanza every time.
And Petco Park looks amazing too for college football. I think it works really, really well as you get the shot every single year pretty much of someone breaking a long run or a long pass play. You could see the Jumbotron behind them having the play out as he's running towards the end zone. It's really cool, man, what you guys do at Petco Park.
We're okay if defenses don't show up.
Yeah.
DirecTV Holiday Bowl is known for lots of points and down to the wire finishes, and this matchup absolutely sets up that way. And down at Petco Park, with our Redcoat volunteers, we pride ourselves on the experience we provide, not only the players and the fans who come to town, but the fans that come to the game. And Petco Park is an idyllic setting for the DirecTV Holiday Bowl. It's an entire day. Go to the parade in the morning, the Port of San Diego Holiday Bowl Parade presented by Kaiser Permanente. Hang out in the Gaslamp Quarter, East Village, Seaport Village, whatever you want to do. Head on over to the stadium. The ballpark is so open. It is such a fun place for a college football game. And then with the pageantry that we have, our pregame show is a celebration of our local military community. We have the United States Navy Leapfrogs are going to be jumping in. We have our giant American flag that takes up the whole field. We have the university marching bands, and the Louisville and USC marching bands are awesome. Halftime is great. And then, of course, to cap it off with the KGB Sky Show. I mean, this is an overload of fun and memories.
And your one ticket to the Holiday Bowl gets you all of that stuff. So you're there through the KGB Sky Show, and there's still tickets available.
There are, but they're going fast. So go to holidaybowl.com. Yep.
Yeah, holidaybowl.com for the 44th annual DirecTV Holiday Bowl. Petco Park is the place. The date December 27th. I'm super excited. Kickoff 5 p.m. Louisville taking on USC. I think Mark, you said it right. I really do think that this is a travesty, that in terms of sport, this is the wrong way to do business. However,
in terms of entertainment, I must admit, I am way more into Michigan, Alabama than Michigan, Florida State with a backup. I hate that I feel this way. I hate that I'm fanning the flame. In fact, TD was talking about it. We should boycott it to show people how much we disapprove of it. But that is the direction of sport. Let me ask you this question. So it's going to expand to 12 teams. Is that enough of a bracket in college football for us to be satisfied, or should it be expanded beyond that?
No, it should not. I am not a fan of playoff expansion at all.
Interesting.
Wow. I am a fan of the traditions of college football. You're going to see playoff teams with 2 and 3 losses, maybe even more than that. So it's minimum. Remember, I talked about the regular season in college football is the best at any level at any sport. That is going to be hurt now moving forward because not every game matters anymore. It's okay if Alabama loses 1, 2, or probably even 3 games because they're going to get into the playoff. So I think it's a backward step, frankly.
Wow.
And so for the bowl system too, and I'm not saying it because of this, but for the bowl system, it's gonna diminish the value of the bowl games as well. And I say that because there's going to be such a focus on those 12 teams. There already is right now, with the 4 teams. It's such a focus on that playoff that I think it does minimize the bowl system.
Interesting. You know what? I actually hadn't thought of that. If you had a playoff system, it will water down the regular season. Whereas right now the regular season is hot every week.
Mark,
Right.
you live in this world, so I'll ask you, and it's a pretty straight up question, but if Jordan Travis never breaks his leg, are we having a different bracket?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
I think Florida State is either the number 3 or 4 team in the bracket. And I think it's a totally different story. I feel so bad for that kid.
Oh, me too.
I was
Me
in
too.
Charlotte. I was at the ACC championship game, and I saw, they had an awards program Friday night, and Jordan was there, and such a great kid. And now, he's got to be just beside himself.
Did you see the tweet he put out? He said, "I wish I would have broken my leg 6 weeks earlier, so the committee could see that Florida State's more than just a quarterback."
Obviously the committee was not watching that defense.
Yeah.
Alabama would have a tough time moving the ball against that defense.
I don't disagree. I just know that they don't care. I just know that they don't care. A defense doesn't attract viewership. Like when you have pitchers duels in football, it's really it benefits you to have higher powered offenses taking each other on. Fantasy football, everybody's into watching their receivers have 100+ yard games and 10 reception games in these PPR leagues and all these things, because that's what gets people buzzing, and these prop bets and all these things. They're mostly offensive. People don't usually select defensive stats.
Yeah, I will say, to me, and I have friends who are on that the committee.
Yeah, same here. Yeah,
and it's not an individual thing. They do this as a group. But to me, it just reeks of SEC influence.
Well,
it really does.
We know how these networks work. They obviously partner with certain conferences, and the SEC and ESPN. This is an ESPN product, and so it is what it is.
Well, for us though, we were doing backflips knowing that we're getting the number 15 team in the country and getting Louisville. So for us, we benefited from it. Those kids on Louisville and on USC's football teams are going to come here and have the time of their lives. They're going to compete on the football field. I encourage all of San Diego, get involved with the DirecTV Holiday Bowl in one way or the other. If you come to the game, come to the parade, come to Bowl Bash the night before. This is a celebration for San Diego. It's San Diego's biggest holiday party. We love college football. We love San Diego. And let's all celebrate this together. And December 27th, it's all happening down at Petco Park.
Mark, the only mistake you guys make is every year having Rich be on the call.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
Contractually obligated at the moment.
Unfortunately for Mark and everybody else. But yes, it is the 44th annual DirecTV Holiday Bowl. Petco Park is going to be the scene, like you said, Bowl Bash, the parade. Get involved at every level. HolidayBowl.com is where you can purchase tickets. Louisville, USC, a lot of Trojan alumni live in San Diego. Perfect opportunity to see your Trojans play against a really high caliber team in Louisville coming down here. ACC, Pac-12. This is awesome, Mark. We appreciate your visits throughout the year, and looking forward to our next one, man.
Let's Go. Let's do this.
Yes. Yeah. Love that. Love that. Okay, coming up next, we got to get back to the NFL, and we will. But first,
boys, we got a new friend alert on the show, and that starts right now. prizepicks.com/Fletch. That is how you get a match, a first deposit match up to $100, the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. Prize Picks, the special offer right now. Sign up at prizepicks.com/Fletch, and Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. One more time, prizepicks.com/Fletch. All you have to do is select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. Super easy. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Again, head on over to prizepicks.com/Fletch and start playing today. Not to mention, basketball season is here. You can now pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Specials League. You got to check this out. That means you could have Christian McCaffrey and LeBron James on the same entry. I actually have one of those going right now. My favorite part about Prize Picks, though, bar none, is if you have a 6-person entry and only 4 of your projections are correct, you still win. Prize Picks, it's no joke, man. They're number 1 on the continent for a reason. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, enormous selections of players, sports, and stat types. Go on over to prizepicks.com/Fletch to match your first deposit up to $100. Prizepicks.com, promo code Fletch. Prize Picks, it's daily fantasy sports made easy.
quick look forward to Monday Night Football. We got Bengals at Jaguars. That's next. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. What a nice meeting with Mark Neville, CEO, San Diego Sports. Love having him on. The 44th annual Holiday Bowl DirecTV is coming to San Diego. Petco Park, holidaybowl.com is where you can get those tickets. They're going fast. So if you're interested for an awesome matchup between Louisville and USC, go ahead to holidaybowl.com.
It is great. We were just chatting with Mark in the commercial break about how all this came down yesterday after the college football playoff committee selected the teams they selected. Mark's eyes lit up and he said, "Oh, Louisville's coming to town, baby." And it's awesome for them. And Mark was very clear about it. And it's good hearing someone in the position that he's in also agree that the college football playoff committee made a big mistake yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I mean, everybody's reeling from this announcement, and we'll get back to it again. But if you missed it, it's going to be Michigan, Washington, and then Texas and Alabama playing for a national championship. Georgia and Florida State, undefeated Florida State, by the way, conference champions, left at the wayside. But we have some NFL coming up tonight. We will cap off week 13 of the NFL with Monday Night Football, the Bengals visiting Jacksonville. So the Bengals, they've got their problems. Joe Burrow out for the season. Browning is their starting quarterback. Lawrence on the other side of this docket. I didn't see the line, but if I were to guess, I would say Jags favored by 7.5. That would be my guess.
Let's take a look here. Nope.
9.5.
Oh, I'm showing 10. Well, I guess that, yeah, 9.5, 10.
Okay, yeah. So there you go. So heavy favorites, double digit in some books for the Jaguars hosting the Bengals for obvious reason. Look, I said this when Joe Burrow went down, had injuries to start the season. Joe Burrow at 60 or 70% to start the season was a losing proposition for Cincinnati. Browning is what? 60%, 70% maybe the quarterback of Joe Burrow.
I think you're being nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously the Bengals are going to struggle. I think this line's right. I would probably eat those points and stick with the red hot Jaguars.
Well, Jaguars offense has been good. The Jaguars defense has been phenomenal. I don't know how they don't win this game, but I agree with you. I think I take that as well.
I don't know. End. Wait, what did you guys say? Did you say you'll take the points with the Bengals?
Yeah, favorites. Wait, no, take the points with the Bengals?
I'm thinking I might want to.
What are you listening to?
Wait, hold on.
I wasn't listening, to be completely honest.
Are you saying you're taking the points with the Bengals?
I think I am.
Okay, good luck. Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, good luck. I think that's a very.
But I'll tell you what's really attractive.
A lofty yet attainable goal.
Wouldn't mind having a discussion with you at break.
9.5 points. That's a lot, man. And I tell you what, I like the over/under actually a little bit more in this one. 39.5 feels low. I could easily see it going over.
Okay. I don't know because, again, with the Bengals offense without Burrow, they're pretty inept.
Jake Browning's okay.
Yeah. Did you watch any of Jake Browning recently?
He's not great, but he's okay.
The Bengals are done.
Yeah, the Bengals.
I know the Bengals are done, but that doesn't mean tonight can't be interesting. I actually have higher hope for this one than I have a lot of primetime games recently.
Oh, I don't. I'm hoping to be delightfully surprised by a good football game.
Correct,
I think this is going to be dog meat.
This kind of feels like one of those background games. Like it's on.
When we think it's going to be dog meat, it oftentimes turns out to be pretty good. When we've had super high hopes going into primetime games this year, that's when we've been disappointed. So if this game is going to be bad, then maybe it's going to be good.
So yeah, this line opened actually at the number I gave you guys, 7.5. It's been bet up to 10. In most books again, and then it opened actually at 41 and a hook, and I don't know if it's public or sharp money, Ben, but not good news for your over bet. It's dropped to 39.5. So yeah, a lot of people are expecting a low scoring blowout victory for the Jacksonville Jaguars, which sounds like a really good ball game to tune in for.
And it could be low scoring in the tune of 30-0. Yeah.
Shoot, dude. And
you guys are giving no love to Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, like the Bengals still have pieces.
No, yeah, I know, but I mean, I have watched those pieces not produce the entire season because I have those guys on my fantasy team. So I mean, it's been week after week. The Bengals have just been almost sitting static.
I feel like you either sleptwalk through the first 4 games of the Bengals season or forgetting. I mean, they were trash to start this season with a banged up Joe Burrow. I mean, they are trash now. So they started the season losing 3 out of 4. They've lost their last 3, and they've barely been able to muster points against better defenses.
I don't think I'm making myself clear here. I do not think the Bengals are going to win this game. I'm saying 9.5 or 10 is a lot of points.
Okay.
And I think that this is going to end up being a little closer than we think.
And then you look at the other side of the docket, and you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are absolutely on fuego right now. So Jags, they're 8-3. And at home, not as great of a home record, but at home, they're substantial. They can score points at home. That's for damn sure. They scored 34 against the Titans. Pretty decent defense there. They've had a tricky time with the Texans, but they survive and they win against them in a 24-21 dogfight last week. That was a good win for them, especially losing to them earlier in the season. But they're on a tear right now. Through the last 9 games, they won 8 of them. That's a big, big number.
I remember the one loss.
You do?
Which one was that?
Niners kicked their ass in Jacksonville.
913 asking if there's an update on the hot chip challenge, and then asking if I am ready. Travis, you ready? No, I am not ready. I'm not ready, nor do I feel like I may lose this.
After tonight's game, I'll go through the numbers. I'll have a report for you guys tomorrow, but we do have them all saved. I just don't feel confident in saying who's in front or who's behind.
I feel like, you know what, Travis, could you go through the numbers and do it? No offense, Fletch. I mean,
let's all separately go through the numbers and we'll see what we come out with.
So we all come out with different
I was
outcomes.
offering to do work for you guys and you're turning it down.
It's fine. It's fine. It's
just math.
It's
yeah. I mean, I can't really lie about it. You can look.
I know.
Yeah.
But we won't, and then we'll trust you, and then we'll go back and look at it later. And we'll be like, Fletch, what were you doing? Well, what do you mean? It's so.
Let's put something fun on this because you're both like bullish on the Jags for tonight.
Oh yeah, we'll do it at break. We'll do it at break. Yeah.
Do we want to do anything here, or we want to save those?
Maybe we'll save those. We'll
save.
I want to hear about how skinny Rich is.
Dude, I have lost.
That's what I was talking about.
That spicy chip, that's going to be like that's a cheat meal for me these days because I've been really hemming it in. That spicy chip challenge. I'll tell you what.
Check the calorie count on that.
I'm looking forward to that.
You don't have to count calories.
I'll eat it right now.
Yeah, that's right.
A little bit of a cheat meal. That's in part of my 20%, 80-20 rule. Anyways, look, SD fat loss is the way that we've all trimmed the weight before the holiday season. We've all had visitors over to our house. I'm talking about all of us for the Thanksgiving holidays, or we went over to family's house or friends for Friendsgiving. And I know this for the 3 of us because we came back with the same reports. Everybody was commenting on how much smaller we look than the last time everybody's seen us. So I'm down 35 plus pounds. TD, he's down 30 plus pounds. Ben is down like a half a human. He's lost like 45 pounds. He's looking great. The 3 of us are looking just a lot better.
And feeling better.
Getting out of bed, not so sluggish, not feeling so down. It's just looking in the mirror and feeling encouraged instead of feeling like, ooh, what happened in there?
Right.
And if you're going to wait to the new year, my suggestion is do not do that because you're going to get yourself so much further behind the 8 ball if you try to stave this off until after the holidays. You could add another 10 pounds easily just through the Christmas or the Hanukkah week. Don't wait. SD Fat Loss now is our suggestion to you. We linked up with Wayne and Chloe over at SD Fat Loss. Awesome weight loss team there. They have an integrated app where you download it. You can follow the weight loss plan. You can ask them questions. They're super responsive. You just have to start your journey at sdfatloss.com. Trust me, that's the website we went to. And then they will give you a little bit of a manual and a huge discussion, and you'll be off to the races looking and feeling better. It's a promise. Don't wait till New Year's. Do it now during the holiday season, sdfatloss.com. Okay, coming up next, we got to get back to this interesting slate of games in the NFL from the weekend. College football playoff, did they screw it or did they do it? And so much more on the other side, including Depeche Mode tickets. Stay tuned.
This update is presented by Staples Stores. We will begin this morning in the NFL. Chargers get a much-needed win over the Patriots. Final score 6-0. And on paper, it was supposed to be the matchup of the year, but the Niners boat raced the Philadelphia Eagles 42-19 in Philly. Sunday Night Football saw the Chiefs fall to the Packers 27-19. Coming up tonight, Bengals Jags in Jacksonville. That's going to tie a bow on Week 13. College football playoff bracket is set and people are pissed. Michigan, the 1 seed, followed by Washington, Texas, and Alabama. That Alabama and Texas thing is what people are upset about. Now we wait for almost a month. The first playoff games will kick off January 1st, and locally, the Holiday Bowl has been announced. December 27th at Petco Park. It's going to be USC and Louisville. If you missed our conversation with Mark Neville, it'll be up on the free iHeartRadio app right after the show. Staples Holiday Deals means amazing savings for the holiday season. Right now, save 50% on custom holiday cards and invitations, as well as custom photo gifts like mugs and calendars. Offer ends 12/16. Visit staples.com/print for more details. Have yourself a merry little holiday deal at Staples.
Yeah! Woo! Happy Monday to those who celebrate. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch with you on this very happy Monday for some. The reason why I say for some is because if you're a college football fan, you feel like your heart's been torn out a little bit because the most anti-sport thing in the history of college football happened with Florida State on the outside looking in at the college football playoff rankings. So if you missed it over the weekend, yesterday it was announced. You had Florida State, an undefeated conference champion, fall to 5th place, leapfrog by Texas and Alabama. And so your playoffs this year, Michigan's going to take on Alabama. Washington's going to take on Texas in the semifinal of the college football playoff. And it's ridiculous. Again, Seminoles fans everywhere are heartbroken over this. Jordan Travis, the starting quarterback for the majority of the season, the Heisman hopeful, who had his leg broken and ended his season as a result, is heartbroken. Mike Norvell, head coach of the Seminoles, is heartbroken and called it disgusting. The commissioner of the ACC echoed those sentiments. And here we are. We're left with a made-for-TV product, and it's exactly what we deserve because we give the college football playoff our ratings. And so what do? They try to put the best resume with the best possible ratings attached to them instead of who should actually be there.
Right. Okay. And from a business standpoint, you get it. I mean, you understand. I get it. However, from the sports enthusiast, sports fan standpoint, we're getting hosed. I mean, we are getting hosed, and it's been a complaint of the sports fan for year after year after year that there's some sort of issue. It's never been like this, not that I can remember. But this is egregious. This is a joke, and you are making a joke of who the national championship is, or who national champion is going to be.
And I love it. Travis, you brought it up earlier today. I thought it was a really good point. Like, compare this to the World Series from last year. Would the Arizona Diamondbacks have been in if there was a selection committee? The answer is no. Compare it to the national championship in college a year ago. Would UConn or San Diego State have been in? The answer is no. So you're taking away what makes sports special, which is hope, which is upsets, which is the fun things. And we're not going to get any of that. It's going to be the same thing we got last year, which is Alabama.
And it's the hope, the fun things with sports. Sports writes stories that don't seem like they can be real. I mean, sports writes stories where if you saw a movie, you'd say that was fake because you're rooting for the underdog. So, I mean, you're taking that part of the equation away, which you take the fun out of it.
Yeah. If there was a selection committee, to both of your points, would have been the Denver Nuggets, Miami Heat for the NBA championship last year? Absolutely not.
Right.
Because
the Heat were an 8 seed.
It's the beauty of sport. Sport is supposed to be decided on a playing field of some sort, whether it's a ballpark or it's inside of an arena or it's on a rink or it's on a football field. It's supposed to be the determining factor. Wins, losses. I understand sometimes you get into tiebreakers and tough decisions sometimes subjectively need to be made. But that should be for the teams that have a real discussion, a real debate, not for teams like Alabama, just because they're an SEC team, finding their way to leapfrog because they beat Georgia in the SEC championship game. If you want to knock Georgia out and put them at 5, I'm fine with it. I honestly am. If you want to say, okay, because they finished their season and it was, from a schedule standpoint, a little bit of a weak season, and when they're finally tested in the championship game, they get smoked by a red-hot Crimson Tide, fine. Georgia 5, Crimson Tide 6, and then you can move Texas into there if you really need to, and then boom, and they're a Big 12 champ, they're 1 loss, blah, blah, blah. And then Florida State has a seat at the table. That's the way it probably should have shook out, but it absolutely did not, and you know exactly why, and it feels really dirty. And to me, this is kind of like the cheat meal before the diet starts, right? It's going to be expanded to 12 teams. So what do? This playoff committee went, yeah, I want a cheeseburger. Oh, you know what? And I also want the apple pie and the vanilla ice cream. Give me a scoop of that. By the way, I'm going to finish this meal with a milkshake. So they get everything they want and they start gobbling it up.
Their last chance.
They get gobbling it up because guess what? Come 12 games, they're never going to get an opportunity to do this again. So they're stealing these last second calories before this goes away, and it's despicable.
Yeah, that feels even worse. I mean, that feels even worse. It's terrible.
But
it's
you're not
sad.
just impacting this year. You are impacting every single player and fan of Florida State's team for the rest of their lives because they had a shot this year and they did what they were supposed to do this year. And you said, "Oh, thank you for doing all that. Bye."
Yeah, but it's not just the team. I mean, it's not just the fans. It's the fans of the sport. It's the fans of college football. I mean, you were the things you think and do not say, the things that you have thought about what is happening here, you know, that you have had conspiracy theories on of, oh, these are just being arbitrarily picked. It comes to fruition. I mean, you see the veil being pulled off, which makes you lose a little bit of respect.
A lot of respect.
Yeah, it's really despicable. It's really transparent. And maybe that's a good thing. You know, I mean, to a certain level, I'm actually happy. I'm happy that this group of volunteers who sit down in some boardroom or on Zoom calls, they've gotten exposed.
Volunteers, I'm sure they're very poor.
Oh, yes. There's no way that the power and the esteem you get from being a part of this panel isn't parlayed in some way to having access to better things, better money, better contracts in the future. I'm sure that they're doing this volunteerism
out monetarily.
I'm sure they're doing this from just because they're good folks trying to do right by good college athletes. And that's where my heart breaks. I understand fans are upset, and trust me, I get it. I'm a fan of sport too, and I can see it through that lens. I'm sure the head coach is. I've never coached at any level, so I don't really understand it, but I can empathize. I've been in those shoes. I know how it feels, how hard you have to work throughout a football season, how much you sacrifice, not only during the season, but along the road to get to the point in your career where you could have a bite at the apple and you have it taken away from you, not because you didn't deserve it, because somebody else will rate better in the big bracket. Screw you.
Yeah.
Is any of it fear of Nick Saban?
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is. And it's reprehensible. This network, this ESPN network is in bed with the SEC, and they wanted to have their championship.
Well, Nick Saban does weekly hits on the Pat McAfee show, so you wanted an ESPN, Pat McAfee, all that. So,
well, the SEC, I mean, you can see it. There's financial disclosure.
And ESPN are in bed together.
Of course they are. I mean, they're network providers, same way that Fox is in bed with the Big Ten. And I mean, like, we know what happens based on these media rights deals behind the scene. This is an ESPN product. They created the football championship bracket. The CFP committee, this is a product of a television network. So what happens? You don't get sports, you get reality TV.
So for what everyone says with the NFL being scripted and that joke that just keeps going on, at least the NFL is fair in the end. You know what I mean? Like college football, this is not fair. This is not sport. This is now a production. And that's what we're going to get at least for one more year. And Rich, I think you were spot on when you said it's like they're just trying to gobble up every last thing they can because they know that this is going away. They know this college football playoff this year doesn't really matter because all the rules change. So now in the future, we'll be good and noble, I promise. But right now we are going to cheat and we're going to be the dirty mobsters of sports in America.
Well, it matters to the teams playing in it. That's for sure. It matters to Florida State. And it's shocking to me that this could even happen. but that's the way it works. That's how the process is set up.
Hey, listen, we are living in a time now where it's money over everything. It is money over loyalty. I mean, you're seeing that in college football with the transfer portal, with coaches, by the way, before the transfer portal. These players really, they get the shaft because now all these players who are trying to vie for more money in the transfer portal are going to be looked at sideways like, oh, this dirty player. He knows that he can go into the transfer portal and then force his school to pay him more, or he's going to leave for a bigger price tag.
Ohio State quarterback did it this morning.
Yeah, but guess what? What have coaches been doing for the entirety of college football? Literally, coaches will jump ship, will leapfrog off a team before a bowl game, and then go get a huge contract. And I've never faulted them for it because I get it. It's money, right? It's real money. It's life-changing money. Well, same for the players. But when this happens at every single level, right? When everybody's looking for the money grab, including the bracketologists who put together the playoff, there is now no truth left in the game. Now, what is there left to hold on to?
This did get my gears going about the future of college football and where we're heading, which is the 12-team expanded postseason. And Barstool put up the bracket of what it would have been had there been 12 teams. And I'm telling you, there's teams in there that would have gotten in this year that I would be excited to watch. Now, what got my gears going is that, San Diego State just made a new coaching hire. He mentioned in his opening press conference, we're playing for a chance to get to the CFP when it expands. San Diego State would never have a chance in the current format, even if they were perfect.
No chance.
No matter what they did, they would never have a chance.
No chance.
Starting in the future,
there's a shot.
Chance. Yeah, and I mean, just saying the word, even if they were perfect, and that's Florida State. Florida State did everything perfect. They did everything they were supposed to do and more. They were perfect. They were perfect, and you're left out.
Well, so listen, if it comes down to like, I don't know, one loss San Diego State team that wins their conference versus a 2-loss SEC team, and that's determining the 12th spot, well, you could kiss your chances goodbye.
Even a 2-loss team with one of those losses being a really bad loss.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. But, however, now with expanded playoffs, now chances are by the time you get down to the 12th team, you're talking about 2-loss, maybe in certain cases 3-loss teams. And so it gives a real chance for a group of 5 teams to have an opportunity here. Now your resume, like I said, it's going to have to be one loss or sterling.
You probably have to be perfect, right? For if San Diego State's path to a CFP berth, it would have to be an undefeated San Diego State team. And you would have to stack up the non-conference much like they did this year with some really high-powered teams.
And narratives matter. It would help if you had a Rashad Penny. It would help if you had a Kevin O'Connell who could throw the ball over the yard. Ryan Lindley, a high-powered offense, which, again, going back to what you were just talking about, Sean Lewis, new head coach of the Aztecs, he's going to be calling plays, and he said, buy your tickets now, go Aztecs.com, because he's planning on lighting up the scoreboard. That's exactly what he said. And that's that. He knows the tone of college football. It isn't just about winning ball games, because go ask Florida State what that got them. It's about style points too. So you've got to not only win, you also have to be stylistically up to date and influenced by that. Otherwise, you'll get left in the wayside just like the Seminoles.
So having a point per game average up in the 40s would be really good for San Diego State in terms of building the resume, having some wins against teams, and then having a really quotable coach, which they have. Like Sean Lewis, I thought back to his interview with us a lot. I thought he nailed it out of the park, home run. Like, he's a very quotable, high energy, impassioned speaker, and that's worth something too.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. I mean, I loved everything he said. I loved everything he did. He checked every box for me, and I was blown away, to be quite honest, because I'm not going to lie. I was a little skeptical about the pick, but everything he said to me fired me up.
What I got for you is a San Diego State men's basketball team with still only 1 loss heading into their next opponent tomorrow night against Grand Canyon. They're going to be on the road for that one. Tough place to play.
Grand Canyon's a tough team too, man. This is not getting the hype it should.
7-1 Aztecs got their most recent win, 63-62 point game survival against UC San Diego. The Tritons, who are putting together a little bit of a season as they're finishing up their non-conference. That was an unexpected finish.
It was, oh my God, that game made me sick. But the environment at UCSD was incredible, and the way the Aztecs fought back in the second half. So there was a couple guys on the Aztecs dealing with the flu, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was a couple more dealing with the flu that we didn't know about.
Sure,
San Diego State looked slow in that game, which is the first time all year I can say that. But the way they fought back, down 14 in the second half, finishing with a buzzer beater by Jaden Ledee, it was a great finish in a game that never should have been that close.
So they get the win there. Again, 7-1 record heading to Grand Canyon. We'll carry all the action tomorrow night. That's going to be a 6 p.m. pregame, followed by tip-off at 7 p.m. Also, we had an incredible slate of games over the weekend in the NFL. A lot of weather-influenced outcomes. Monday Night Football coming up tonight. Bengals taking on the Jags in Jacksonville. Sunday Night Football led the Packers to victory with Jordan Love. Really finding stride with Green Bay.
How about it, man? I mean, Romeo Doubs looking like he's coming into his own. Do you see it was a 3rd and 2, and Jordan Love threw it all the way down the field and somehow dropped it in the bucket.
Oh my gosh.
Under pressure.
Yeah.
He like sidearm flicks it. And this ball traveled 40 yards in the air, a moonshot that dropped in the back. Actually, Collinsworth goes, I wonder if he's good at cornhole, because that looked like one of those swishes on the cornhole.
You know what it was? It was like primetime Russell Wilson when he was really good with the Seattle Seahawks, and Doug Baldwin would be just sitting in the middle of the field, and there'd be 5 different defenders around them, and somehow the ball would just fall from the heavens like a punt straight into Doug Baldwin's arms. That's what it looked like.
That ball left his hand. My immediate thought was that was way overthrown. And then as it was about halfway through the air, I went, well, it's way underthrown. It was a dime.
I said out loud, pick, as he let go of the ball. Because he was under pressure. He's off his back foot. He lets go of its sidearm, like, pick.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, Romeo Doubs comes up with it, who, by the way, him and Christian Watkins, they're coming into their own. I mean, both of them had big games, big moments throughout the game. You look at the Chiefs, and look, we spent a lot of time earlier in the show talking about the Packers. We could do like a Packers post game. But you look at the Chiefs, like the Eagles, which were both Super Bowl teams last year, are getting exposed later in the season for their warts. I mean, the Green Bay Packers on paper probably shouldn't win that game, but guess what? They should, because their quarterback's playing really good football. That defense is playing up a next level from where they started the season, and those offensive players are getting used to playing with each other.
And they're doing this without Aaron Jones.
Yeah,
who
right.
Early in the season, Jordan Love was reliant upon because he's one of the better options out of the backfield in terms of passing.
Super fast.
Yeah, but they've been doing this without him. And A.J. Dillon, he's not having necessarily a banner year, but he's good at getting tough yards in short yardage situations. So the Packers, they're all of a sudden a serious problem in the NFC come postseason, especially if they get to host a game, which who knows if they will, but Green Bay is a brutal place to play. We saw that last night. One storyline we haven't touched on at all that's kind of heart-wrenching. Did you guys see, and I want both your opinions on it, the play where Tank Dell got hurt, and he's probably going to miss the rest of the season with a fractured femur, I believe it was.
It was a fractured fibula.
Yeah. But Tank Dell, who's like 160 pounds soaking wet, gets asked to block up the middle for the Houston Texans. And to me, that was immediately go to play calling. Like, how can you excuse having someone that small be a lead blocker in the middle, and he gets hurt, and now his season's over?
Yeah, I get it. I understand what you're saying. Look, from this standpoint, football players are expected to do more than just what their position is designed. Like, receivers don't just catch, they block too. Offensive linemen, they don't just block at the line of scrimmage. Sometimes they're asked to run out in space and block corners downfield and things like that. You know, running backs, obviously, they're asked to do a multitude of things. Tight ends, same thing. Quarterbacks, even sometimes, they'll be split out wide or there'll be trick plays. I understand the thought process, but this reminds me a little bit of the conversation about Trey Lance and how he was being utilized and got hurt. Look, he's a football player.
Right.
You're calling the plays that you think are going to help your football team, and football happens.
Yeah, exactly.
But what's the benefit of having a 160-pound wide receiver in the middle of your formation blocking?
I'll explain it from a strategy standpoint. When you have diverse mixtures of personnel groups on the field, it gives you an advantage from what the defense has to respond with their personnel. So if you're going to run a play and you want to run a play against a lighter defense where they have less defensive linemen, more defensive backs on the field, you add wide receivers and you ask them to block. And so it gives you numbers that benefit you. So if we have a package where we know if we have one tight end on the field, one running back, and the rest are wide receivers, they're going to get into their sub defense. We can have some I shouldn't say trick plays, but we can have some personnel groups that we can run rushing plays out of where you would expect pass, and that's the reason why
Now,
that happens.
to be fair to the Texans, they score on the play. They do get a touchdown, but it's really weird in the NFL when you see a touchdown scored, but nobody celebrates. Because immediately there were 5 Texans offensive linemen waving to the sideline, being like, "Get out here. He is seriously hurt."
Yeah, he was screaming. It was tough to watch. And he was carted off.
On the other side of that ball game, the Denver Broncos, the first half looked abysmal.
I know.
That offense
That was
could not
week 1
score.
Broncos.
It was awful. And then, it was second half. They finally got some things going. To be quite honest, though, Russell Wilson, as much as they're saying he's cooking out there, he wasn't cooking a lot. And if it wasn't for 2 45-yard passes, he's under 100 yards for the game.
That was a half order of stale scrambled eggs from Russ yesterday.
Yes, basically correct. And he finished it up with a pick.
We're going to get into a little bit of the playoff picture. I know we have one more game to play in the Week 13 slate. We've got Bengals at Jaguars coming up, but an early peek at what has just happened over this weekend slate of games in the NFL in terms of playoff standings. But first, I want to talk to you about the Good Feet store. At Good Feet, you can go in, get yourself a pair of arch supports, and feel better if you're dealing with lower body joint pain like I was. So I've been and have had back pain and knee pain and ankle pain. And I started getting some hip pain coming on after my playing career. And it was really limiting me. I didn't want to get on the ground and play with the kids. I was having a hard time getting out of bed in the morning. I needed a solution. And I started looking at surgery as a potential option. Well, I then was introduced to the fine folks over at Good Feet store, and I started wearing these arch supports, and a lot has changed for me. I wake up almost every day feeling great. A lot more pep in my step. The back pain has really subsided. The knee pain has disappeared. The hip pain is gone as well. And I credit it all to the Good Feet store. When you go to the Good Feet store, you get this expert attention, a try before you buy free fitting. They measure you, they balance test you, they make sure they have arch supports that fit your lifestyle, your profession, and your footwear. You walk out in 20 minutes, and then you basically walk into a new life. If you're dealing with foot pain, hip pain, ankle pain, knee pain, back pain, even neck pain, it can improve your posture when you walk. Your feet are the foundation, after all, of your whole body. Get to the Good Feet store, and they'll get you right. Goodfeet.com to book your appointment or find the nearest retailer.
A look at the NFL playoff picture coming up next.
Rich, TD, I don't like to brag. Who am I kidding? Yes, I do. I love to brag. I've lost a ton of weight on sdfatloss.com.
Yeah, you have. You really have.
And if you'd like to see the proof, head on over to my Twitter account at Fletch Sports. I posted a picture of my beautiful wife and I in San Luis Obispo over the weekend, and it's a different human being than you would have seen a few months ago because I have lost that weight. I'm fitting into clothes that I haven't worn in a long, long time, and it's all thanks to sdfatloss.com. So if you want to be like us and you want to trim some of that fat before your holiday parties, before you see a bunch of family, I was with family over the weekend. They all said the same thing. You look like a different human being. And it's because I do. And it's because I am. SDFatLoss.com has physically changed my life. You can call 858-665-3211. Get your free consultation with Wayne and Miss Chloe today. I mean, TD, Rich, all of us, we've lost a ton of weight. TD, what are you up to now? 35 pounds?
31
pounds
yeah.
for Travis Dale. And it's the maintaining thing that's really gotten us on the hook because losing the weight was one thing, right? Being able to be 4 or 5 weeks after we've stopped the reduction phase and still be maintaining at the same level of the weight we lost is what's really impressive. And it's something I thought wouldn't happen for me. I was expecting to go into holiday parties for the rest of my life, just being that guy in the family who showed up fatter and fatter and fatter every single year. God, that's not happening this year, man.
That's depressing.
I'm going to go see Uncle Jack and he's going to give me a high five before we watch Christmas Vacation.
And he may give you a hug and then realize my arms wrap around you a lot more than they used to.
That's what's going to happen. Uncle Jack, not a big hugger, though. SDFatLoss.com. Get your free consultation today by calling 858-665-3211. They will coach you through how to eat during the holidays and not gain a bunch of weight. So SDFatLoss.com. This update is presented by Staples Stores. We will start off here in the NFL, where Week 13 gets wrapped up tonight. It's going to be the Jags taking on the Bengals in Jacksonville. College football, the playoff bracket is now set. Michigan, the 1 seed, followed by Washington, Texas, and Alabama. And now we wait for almost a month. The first playoff games will kick off on January 1st. Locally, the Holiday Bowl has been announced December 27th at Petco Park. We had Mark Neville, the CEO of the Holiday Bowl, on a little earlier today. Great catching up with him. If you missed it, it's up on the free iHeartRadio app. Staples Holiday Deals means amazing savings for the holiday season right now. Save 50% on custom holiday cards and invitations, as well as custom photo gifts like mugs and calendars. Offer ends 12/16. Visit staples.com/print for more details. Have yourself a merry little holiday deal at Staples.
Big Rashidi and Fletch, San Diego Sports 760. Having a blast here on a Monday.
Oh,
having a
you're
blast.
damn right.
We got 2 giveaways we got to do. We have 2 segments left.
Oh,
which means
isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's weird.
7 minutes from right now,
boom,
we are going to give away Depeche Mode tickets.
Wow!
And you better be listening for all of these 7 minutes because you're going to need something from this conversation to win the Depeche Mode tickets. Okay. So you're going to be listening for, say, I don't know, like 2 or 3 minutes. You're going to get a little gift, and then you're going to take that gift and you're going to wait to call in, and then you're going to unwrap it with Fletch behind the glass.
Hey, TD, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
How many tickets are available for this Depeche Mode concert?
0.
That's a
if you
sold
want
out
to buy
show.
them. That's right. That's right. We have 6 tickets left.
Yeah, but we're giving them away in pairs. So we have 3 pairs.
Right. 2 each day.
2 tickets.
1 pair of tickets every day this week.
Why are you making this
till
so
Wednesday.
complicated?
2 and we're giving them away individually.
No,
So you
we're
may be
absolutely not doing that.
sitting next to a stranger. I'm just kidding. That is not how this works at all.
We have 1 pair of tickets each day starting today, tomorrow, and then Wednesday.
You're damn right we do. You're damn
Pechanga
right.
Arena. The concert's Wednesday night, so make sure you have Wednesday night open if you want to go see Depeche
I
Mode.
love it. I love it. So let's take a look ahead. Oh,
I like
yeah.
this one. I like this one.
keep
I like
playing
this one.
This is very nice. Let's take a look at the NFL playoff standings after what we saw yesterday. It is getting a little bit crowded at the wild card part of the bracket. When you take a look at what the Colts did with the victory, you take a look at what the Houston Texans did with the victory. So Houston beating Denver is huge.
Right.
Here's why. If the Colts falter, or say even the Browns falter now with Joe Flacco in at quarterback, all of a sudden Houston can be a 7 seed. Well, what would prevent Denver from getting in if they have an even record? I don't know. How about the heads-up win that the Texans just had over Denver?
Right.
That was a big deal yesterday.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. The Broncos, by the way, they won 4 in a row, right? And then they finally dropped that
5
one.
in a row.
Oh, won
before
5
that
in a
game.
row. Oh, that's right. 5 in a row, which that hurts them now in this playoff picture just because of that heads up play. But the Browns, who are faltering, you would see that. To me, I would see the Browns drop out. The Texans take that place there.
Turns out, guys,
AFC
Joe
picture-
Flacco, not good enough.
Yeah.
He had some throws early in the game where you think, oh, maybe he still has it. But then at the end of the game, man, he disappears.
Well, the problem is when Joe Flacco is playing with a lead and with that defense, or, in a more even scoreboard situation, you're like, oh, yeah, this works. This is fine as a game manager. But same thing when he was with the Baltimore Ravens and a strong defense there. As soon as you put the game on his back, oof, not so good.
The last 2 plays of the game for the Browns, by the way, both of them were sacks. Both of them, Joe Flacco actually had some time. Both of them near the end zone, second one being a safety.
Yeah. So the Cleveland Browns right now, they have wins that tie break over Indianapolis. So that's the reason why they're in 6 over the Colts, who are in 7th place right now. And then it gets more convoluted the higher you get in the wild card. Pittsburgh has tiebreakers over Indianapolis. Division tiebreaker was initially used to eliminate Cleveland, blah, 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 blah. The point is, Pittsburgh isn't safe either because all of these teams that are in the wild card are tied at 7 wins. Houston Texans right on the outside with 7 wins as well in 8th place. And they're just nipping at everyone's heels.
Only one team eliminated here from the playoff picture. One team in all the NFL, the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye. With
The
11 losses.
Patriots are going to be there soon.
Well,
Yeah.
if they win out,
There's still a chance,
Guys,
Fletch.
The AFC side is crazy. The NFC side might be a little crazier. I mean, you got the Vikings and the Packers on the bottom who are in the playoffs right now, 6 and 7, but the Rams right behind them. Rams playing really good football right now. That's back-to-back weeks with big wins over the Cardinals and then the Browns. Seattle Seahawks, 6 and 6. Like, you got 4 teams who are 6 and 6 right now, all who have a good chance to get in.
Well, same exact thing on the AFC side, just with 1 win. They're all tied at 7 for those 4, or I should say the 3 wild card position, and then the 4th one, the last man outstanding, which is the Texans. In this case, it is the Los Angeles Rams at 6 wins. But then you throw in the addition of the 9th place team in this case. So it's almost like shuffled down one.
Right.
So you got the 4 teams who are kind of near the bottom of the NFC, but then the Atlanta Falcons, who are a division winner right now, also 6 and 6.
Sitting in first place.
Insane.
And the Cowboys at 9 wins are a wild card team right now.
I mean, anybody could be in the postseason on the NFC side. The Giants, for as bad as they've been with 4 wins on the season, the Giants have like a reasonable, debatable way to make it.
So do the Bears.
Guys, can we go back to a conversation we had last week? The NFC South, let's just chop it off.
That's a good point.
Let's just chop it off and get them out of here.
The annexation of the South.
Well,
I mean, the NFC South.
yeah. Well, whoa.
Not the South.
Whoa,
There's
whoa.
a lot of nice places in the country to go.
The
Just
Bucks-
none of them are in Carolina, Florida, or Louisiana when it comes to football.
Or Atlanta.
The Bucks and
yeah,
the
or
Saints,
Georgia.
though, the Bucks and the Saints in the NFC South, both sitting in a better position than the Giants to make the playoffs.
Oh, dude, yeah.
That Saints game, by the way, was a puke-worthy football game yesterday. Like
So-
the Saints, I had high hopes for them with Derek Carr coming in. He has not been able to stay on the field, first of all. And then Jameis Winston comes in the very first play, the very first thing he does every single time is throw a ball that should be intercepted, but somehow gets tipped up and Chris Olave catches it.
I don't really understand how Jameis Winston still has a job in the NFL other than you look at his arm talent and you go, my goodness, this man, he's Uncle Rico. He can throw it a mile. He's a good athlete. He's
He
a
has
positive
so
human
much
being.
confidence for zero reason.
He just flings that sucker. He just, you know what? He's like,
I like it.
We got a window open the size of a dime. Guess what? I'm going to fit this pigskin through it.
Do we need to give a word or something?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Okay. So the gift that we're going to give you. No, I can't say that.
I have no idea where this is going. A little scared about it.
Let's just say the code phrase you need is Buck Norris.
Okay.
We'll leave it at
All
that
right,
because
very nice.
the other thing I don't think we could say on the air. So
is it about the commercials we're getting fed?
It was about cutting a hole in the box. Anyways, the point is Buck Norris.
Should we cut a hole in that box?
Yes. Buck Norris is your code phrase. We'll give you the time to call in just a moment. But yeah, just to wrap this up, I'm excited with 7 teams in the postseason. We talked about this actually before the season even kicked off. With the expanded playoffs, one team getting the bye and the wild card featuring the bottom 6 teams battling it out. I really enjoy what the NFL has done here because A, you still have less than half the teams in the league getting into the postseason. So it's still sacred. It's still special. B, adding an additional wild card team and keeping it so that 2 teams don't get buys, only 1 team gets by, makes the end of the regular season more competitive.
And we have a shakeup at the top of both divisions after this week. So the Dolphins now the 1 seed in the AFC. The Eagles are still the 1 seed in the NFC, but now that comes into question because with that loss to the 49ers, the Niners will have the tiebreaker if it comes down to that. And the Eagles have a brutal schedule the rest of the way. They get the Cowboys next. That's going to be a hell of a game. So like the Eagles now, who have some question marks on that team, might not be the 1 seed in the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And how much of a benefit would it be for the Eagles if the postseason was to funnel through them?
The NFL's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
They just got it dialed
I
in.
was worried with expanding the postseason that the regular season would be devalued. I actually think the opposite effect has happened. The regular season is becoming more valuable.
I agree with that full-heartedly, and I get it. I know when we're talking about the 4 and the 5 spot in both of these brackets, it leaves something to be desired in certain cases. Not this year, really. The 4 seed is the Chiefs on the AFC side, followed by the Steelers in the 5 spot, and that feels okay. Like it resembles balance in the fourth. In the force, when you look at the NFC. The Falcons at the 4 seed, the Cowboys with 9 wins are at the 5 seed. That's where it gets a little wonky for people.
But what if the Cowboys are able to beat the Eagles? They flip-flop.
Yeah.
Like then you're talking about an Eagles team who was 10-1 at one point this season, not hosting their first playoff.
Wow,
game.
yeah. By the way, the conspiracy theory that the Super Bowl teams had already been chosen at the beginning of the season because the Super Bowl logo had the purple and red colors in it. Do you remember this theory?
Yeah, it's still in play. Ravens Niners.
Yeah. I mean, in fact, it looks very plausible.
It doesn't look unplausible.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
Right.
Okay. 844-570-1360. Call right now. 844-570-1360. If you want the Depeche Mode tickets, you need to call with the code phrase. We just gave it away. Should not be hard. So the very first caller with the code phrase is going to win those Depeche Mode tickets that we'll have 2 more pairs to give away coming up this week. Okay. Been driving to work every day for the past 5 years in a Toyota 4Runner. I love this car. And the reason why I do is morning radio. You got to wake up and be on time. There's no fair dodging it, man. That alarm clock goes off. There's no excuses. 6 a.m., you're on the radio. So if you have an unreliable car, you're screwed. And that was me for years. I mean, there was legitimately times I put my key in my ignition and I didn't know if my car was going to start. It sucked. I was having breakdowns almost every 2 months. And finally, I gave up on this old car and I said, I need a reliable brand. And I started talking to people. And I kid you not, every single person I spoke to said, you need to go to Toyota. So I head over to San Diego County Toyota dealers. And guess what? They get me in the perfect vehicle. At the time, we had kids in 2 car seats. We needed back room, so they got in the adjustable back seat in the 4Runner. Plus, we would have people coming in town to visit these little kids. We needed the back row, so we had the adjustable back row in the 4Runner. Everything worked perfectly for us, but it doesn't just stop there. Go to Toyota.com if you're looking for a great deal on a new Toyota. You could check out all the offers. You could check out all the models. You can search inventory, find the Toyota that's just right for you at Toyota.com. And if you're interested in a greener planet, you got a wide range of electrified vehicles, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, fully electric vehicles. These are all Toyota's Beyond Zero lineup. You can find one that suits your lifestyle, all while making a positive impact. I love San Diego Toyota dealers. I bring my car in for service when it needs it, which is rare. And they're always friendly. You'll find yourself falling in love with their staff. San Diego County Toyota dealers. They make it easy. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. If you were just listening, you heard that first pair of tickets from the week. Depeche Mode. They're going to be playing here at Pechanga Arena on Wednesday night. Concert sold out, so the only way you're getting tickets is by keep on listening to this program throughout the week leading up to that Wednesday show. Super excited to give those tickets away. Also, we have SeaWorld passes. We got a family 4-pack. Got to give those away too, and we will. So if you're looking to celebrate Christmas at SeaWorld, keep listening to this segment because I can promise you we got to give them away at some point.
I don't think you guys will, but I just have a new link that I have to open up every morning. The first official college basketball net rankings have been released as of this morning. San Diego State, 24th in the country right now. The best news for the Aztecs on that, which that's really good. The best news for the Aztecs, BYU, second in the country, according to the net.
That's huge. So
the only loss they have, which was, by the way, a close game at Marriott Center, they take all that into account that it was on the road, tough place to play. San Diego State's only loss on the year is to the number 2 team in the country, according to the primary metric that seeds March Madness.
So net rankings have the Aztecs at 24th overall in the country, and still the AP polling shockingly dragging behind, getting them on the top 25.
We'll kick them in the nards.
Wow.
Big test this week, by the way. Tomorrow's game is no slouch. Grand Canyon's a very good college basketball team. Playing at Grand Canyon is a tough task. So San Diego State, who had some guys sick last week, hopefully they're fully healthy, ready to go.
To that point, a little bit of BYU vibes at Grand Canyon.
Big time. Big time.
Private school.
Fletch.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting atmosphere.
Fletch, I would say you are the biggest college basketball fan here on the show. As you look at this list and look at the 23 teams ahead of the Aztecs, are you comfortable and happy with this ranking?
The only one that gives me pause, first of all, 5 Mountain West teams in the top 50 in the net. That's huge. That's massive this early in the season. But the Creighton being as high as they are, I think they're up in the top 5. Creighton lost to Colorado State this year. Now that's great for the Mountain West, but Creighton with a home loss to a Mountain West school, I don't believe belongs that high.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll say this about San Diego State this season. If they keep playing and having these gutty victories in times where they, they clutched up. They had a bunch of sick players on their roster for that game against UC San Diego. So yeah, maybe it wasn't a great win, but it was when you look at context, right? Not just about all the measurables, also about what actually was going on with the human beings on the court. This team has an opportunity to do something really special because this is a tricky non-conference schedule. And for them to be 7-1 through 8 games, if you told me to sign up for that at the start of the season, dude, where do I sign?
That's above expectations by far. By the way, Colorado State, 7th in the net. So Mountain West is going to be very strong this year. Colorado State so far, their average net opponent ranking, so the average of all the teams they've played, is 26th. That means they're averaging a top 26 team in the country every game they play.
Okay, so real quick, 844-570-1360. Do not call right now, but call in 3 minutes at 855-844-570-1360. For all of our app listeners out there or here in San Diego who want to win SeaWorld passes, this is the way to do it. Wait till 8:55 and not a second sooner. As soon as the clock ticks over, Fletch will start answering calls. Caller number 5 is going to win that family 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld San Diego to celebrate Christmas over there. We got a big one tonight in terms of AFC standings. If Jacksonville can pull this off, they're probably going to improve themselves in terms of this AFC playoff ranking. Jags favored by 10. Which side are you guys on?
Bengals cover the spread.
Okay, so you're taking the points.
Nah,
all right.
Jags all day. Jags win this by 2 touchdowns.
I think I agree. Yeah, I think the Jags boat race the Cincinnati Bengals tonight.
Care to make it interesting?
What did you have in mind?
Loser cuts off his finger.
Okay.
No.
In.
Not in.
Oh, okay.
Loser does something dumb. I'm thinking it has to eat spicy ramen.
What?
Spicy ramen? We just did spicy ramen.
Why do you always want to go to something spicy?
Let's make it easy. Make it a classic burrito bet.
A burrito
So
bet?
we owe a burrito.
Yeah.
Okay,
Loser buys burritos.
Okay. So either me and Travis independently owe you 2 burritos? How does this work? Or we go halvesies on a burrito?
Just a nice excuse to go out and have a meal with my boys.
Okay.
All
And
right,
you're going to pay for the whole crew if
I lose, yeah.
Okay. I mean, you're taking on a lot here.
My $30, I'm going to miss it.
This is unbelievable. Okay.
I'm at least 100 air right now, Rich.
We are taking full of it. You might be 1,000 air. Have you checked it?
Maybe.
Guys, we're getting completely snubbed out here here in San Diego.
What's going on?
Okay, Chicago, Dallas, Miami, and New York City all have Subway sandwich locations where they're making foot-long chocolate chip cookies. And it honestly looks like some stoner decided to jam the cookie dough in one of the trays they bake the bread in.
I just got lightheaded. The words that you just said, here's what they need to do.
Come on.
Use that as the bread.
Right.
Get into the froyo business. Vanilla froyo, right down, a stripe down the middle.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, stop talking. We need to patent that idea.
Cookie on top of cookie, foot-long cookie.
Yeah, that's what, stop talking. We need to patent that idea.
No problem.
That's going to be a thing. Thank you to Mark Neville, the CEO of the Holiday Bowl. He came in a little bit earlier today. If you missed it, it's up on the free iHeartRadio app. How about this? College football had a rough day yesterday in terms of public eye. Holiday Bowl benefits.
Yeah.
They don't get Louisville if that didn't go, the situation went. So Louisville coming to San Diego, Louisville, USC. Listen to the Mark Neville interview on the free iHeartRadio app. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, TD.
Yeah, man. Busy Tuesday coming up tomorrow. Depeche Mode tickets. And a huge thanks to Angela. Darnay Tripp's mother-in-law for the cookies this morning. That was sweet of her. The Herd is next.